I'm sponsored by Malibu Boats. That's beautiful Malibu LXI being our sponsor for this. All right, Mikey, let's go through these rules. The amateurs are allowed one mulligan. They can miss or fall. The amateur skiers can also free ski, shadow, or run the mini course, Mike. So we have a varying level of excited people here, from, as we've said before, people that are working on their deep water starts all the way through people that that can run into 32 and 35 off.
What do you think? Out of all the people, as far as a teammate, which one would you feel the most comfortable as a pro? Not to win, the most comfortable.
Just personally, who do I want to ski with?
Somebody that can help you through this nervous time, help you through.
If I were an amateur, which pro would I want to lean on? Is that your question?
Yes. Give me a list of the skiers in order.
Our pros are Thomas DeGasperi skiing with Glenn Jubak, Will Asher skiing with Andy Brisborn, Chris Parrish skiing with Miss Lynn Pitts, Seth Stisher with Heike Newman, Thomas Moore with Nestor Agramonte, Trent Finlayson, T-Money skiing with Jay Kolowski, Andy Mappel skiing with Imanol Luisa, Coxie skiing with Chris Lounsbury, and Billy Susi skiing with Teresa Jubak. Speaking, if you wanted to go with somebody with experience that are probably the two coolest cats down on the dock, it's got to be Wade and Andy, right? I mean, they've done this 100 times. They're not going to stress. Wade's down there cracking jokes to anybody who's within earshot. So, I mean, being around somebody like a Wade or an Andy's gonna probably give you that feeling of confidence and experience, as far as they've done it 1,000,000 times, and would put you at ease, certainly.
Those are the two names that I was thinking, but then also those are the two top dogs. So not only are they down there, helping you through the nervousness, but then it's Andy Mappel standing next to you. Yeah. It's Wade Cox, calming you down, but hey.
Yeah, it's still the big dogs. These guys have both Wade and Andy. They've battled back and forth. Wade stole 2 U.S. Pro Tour titles during Andy's long run of U.S. Pro Tour titles. So these guys have had long-term battle, and Andy now being retired, skiing for fun, and Wade's just still at it, podiuming on at the Masters this year. The first major tournament he skis into the year, shows up and has a huge weekend. So he doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And these younger guys they're hungry. We've got some great skiers on here. DeGasperi, we've seen him all weekend. He's skiing in DeGasperi. He might be the only one that's skiing in every single event. I think he is.
And he got up late today.
Yeah,
okay, so here's another thing. To be a champion, which all these guys are,
and Seth,
you have to have that competitive drive inside you. I want to win. I'll find a way. I got to win. Now, even though this is a fun event, the Pro-Am, and even though they know that the people that they're working with, are still new at this sport, which one of those guys do you think does not want to lose?
Oh, I would put it on one of the younger guys, like Wade and Andy. They're here to support their team, and they're here to put up a big score, and certainly they want to win. Nobody shows up at the dock in a competition and doesn't want to win. But then you look at a Thomas Moore, who didn't have a very good first round. He skied really good last weekend. He's running 39 a lot, and he fell off early. Or a Billy Susi, who kind of is in the same scenario. Or a Trent Finlayson, who, these guys they're here, they're skiing in these, they're making the cuts, but they also, they have that extra drive to really, hey, man, I know this is a Pro-Am, but I'm going out there to have the best score of the round, or to have my personal best score, whatever that may be. So I think one of these younger guys is going to carry more personal energy and emotion into this round.
How would you approach, like, if you're in this thing, how would you approach, how would you get your partner, your camper, how would you get him dialed in? Would you tell him, hey, don't worry, I got your back on this, just go out there and have fun? Or would you be working an angle with trying to get the peak performance out of him?
Oh, well, I think the first thing you need to do is put their mind at ease, right? I mean, because that's, as we've discussed, is going to be the biggest deal for these guys down on the dock is their nerves. So a couple of jokes, a couple of story times, get them relaxed. Hey, let me tell you about my first tournament kind of deal, and, get these guys to loosen up a little bit, so, and let them know that it's okay. But then, yeah, you want to instill confidence that, hey, Mike, if you're my partner, hey, I'm going out there to ski as hard as I can. We're going to win this thing, and I would tell you that have confidence in it that we're here to win, and you take it light with everybody else, but when you're with your partner, you say, hey, we're in this together, let's do this, we're a team, and really instill that. And that's why these amateurs are here, is to enjoy that with these guys.
Right. And that's the cool part about a fantasy camp is, that thought came into my mind because a buddy of mine that went to a hockey one, and on the last day they have a actual game. And, obviously you don't want to let down your teammates. But I asked him, he was doing it with Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest ever. And I said, how did he, he said, listen, guys, you do your job, I'm going to do my job. Just focus on what we worked on all week long, and focus on what your goal is. Your goal is to, whatever it was that they worked on. So I think of an approach like that, and I think like an Andy and a Wade who's been there and done it, is the guy, I'm going to do my job, you do your job. These are the things that you really need to focus on. Whether it was the one camper that ran, is running 28, or whether it's the one girl that's just shadowing buoys. It's just focus on what you need to get done, and I'll take care of my thing.
It's a great outlook, because the campers certainly don't need to be overloaded. Worry about the camper needs to focus down. Skiing with you and skiing with Chet. We growing up, we always talked about you can't overload your mind. You can only control a few keys at a time, right? So if this pro can get in their camper's head, just like you're saying, these are the things you need to be concerned about. Don't worry about, and it's obviously difficult. Don't worry about the cameras. Don't worry about whatever it may be. You need to. Are we getting up? We're starting? All right. Glenn Jubak. All right, Glenn was the first one here. The other day we were out taking a practice ride when the boys came out to ski, and Glenn has been amped up about this. Glenn's got a really good story. He did not know he was coming until last week. His wife, Teresa, which we'll see in a little while, booked Glenn in, and it was a surprise and a gift to him from her. So I think Glenn's going to owe his wife big after this weekend. All right, Glenn's got a smile and a wave. Thanks to Malibu Boats, this LXI pulling Malibu's new hull, pulling this Pro-Am event.
He looks pretty relaxed there, Sully.
Yeah, he does. That was kind of good that he kind of got some nerves out by waving at the cameras and getting everything else set, and he's going to cruise his first pass. Get that downwind opener out of the way.
Looks like he was listening to his coaches all week.
Yeah, Glenn's he's really gung-ho. Glenn's one of those guys that just stays tuned into the magazine. He reads it cover to cover every month, and he's telling me what he read on Freedom Slalom and this and that. So these guys are plugging themselves into the websites, and they're very, very educated about the sport. So for him to be, he knows who his partner Thomas DeGasper is. He knows him in and out. He already knows that he ran 41 in a runoff last year. So these to ski with these guys is really exciting, and he seems pretty relaxed about it.
We got the wind picking up a bit. There'll be a headwind pass for him here. The opener looked really nice. I can't get over this. Just looking at this Swiss ski school, this is heaven here.
It's amazing. Yeah, this we've been here several days now, and people are calling, and just the camera views and the ways they're getting to see this. Let's look at Glenn on his second pass here.
He's looking real good here.
Glenn's got it going on. Glenn has definitely spent some time in the course before. This is he's got some fists. He's down and back. Right on. Well, Glenn was just with us earlier, wishing his little girls.
He's got a cheering section down there.
wishing his little girls a good morning. They're all tuned in watching, I think, with Grandma. So it's good to know.
Here's your replay in slow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
We're high
Sweet
tech today
one
with
ball.
the
Look at
replay.
that.
Yeah, no, Glenn has definitely spent some time on the course. He's got a couple of scrapping techniques that you don't pick up quickly. You know, he's kind of like a cat here. A couple of times, Mike, just stand on his feet, but he's balanced. He's
That
looking really good.
that offside turn saving him.
Glenn,
Pretty
get that man a
nice.
contract. Let's sign him up, huh?
That's some good skiing. I
Nice work.
saw Thomas down there throwing a fist on the way out. I think Thomas thinks he's got a good teammate going here.
Yeah. All right, Glenn at 32 off. Glenn Jubak, originally from Michigan, now living in Georgia, skiing at a little lake. I'm sure his ski partners. Oh, he
boy.
gets pulled out at one.
Go up, a little
Over
short
the
on
top
two
of
ball.
two. But a really good score. I'm sure his. If he has the option for a mulligan, so we'll see what he opts for there at the end. I'm sure he'd like to take a second shot at that.
I wish I had this mulligan rule when I was skiing.
I would. Yeah.
I'd be using that mulligan quite a bit.
Yeah, I had a buddy who had the built-in mulligan. This guy Chuck Childs from Mississippi, a really good buddy of mine. He had a hole on the inside of his vest.
Nice.
And he'd keep a stick inside his vest in case he fell early, and he
Nice.
could just go, "Hey, I hit this. Give the guy a reride." So yeah, so Chuck Childs pulled that off a lot until our local judges finally figured that out when he hit the same stick 3 or 4 tournaments in a row.
That doesn't
So, yeah.
go over too good.
That sure looks like that stick from
I think he might be using his
Duck
mulligan
Hill last
huh?
weekend.
So how was the scoring for the people that aren't using the course? We're going to score that off of.
The score, we have a panel of professional judges up here that will be scoring these guys. It's basically on effort level. You know, Glenn's out there. He's skiing well. He's enthusiastic about it. And these amateurs are going to be based on a 1 to 100 score.
Mm-hmm.
So if Glenn skis well, that's really great that he's running into 32 off. But we need to score Glenn against a Lynn Pitts who's working on trying to get through the course. So it's an effort level based, and how much they're
came
going to
out
go
of
for.
one.
Oh, he's outside of 2. He's definitely got a better score this round.
He's got room at 3 ball. He's going to run this thing. Come on. Nice.
Wow, he's through 32 off. That's going to be a fist after that one. I think he's probably a little beside himself at this point, Mike.
That's a pretty big smile going on out there. Here we go. We got this slow-mo replay. Look at this, Sully. Watch this one ball. Got a lot of tip in the water there. Got a little squirrely, but he got her going. Lots of room at 2 ball. Nice.
No, he got a bit chopped up there at 1, but that O'Brien, that Sixum, just kind of got locked in and tracked across the course for him. It's hanging really tough for him. It's looks like he's got that ski dialed in.
Did you notice were the campers getting ski tuning, ski adjustments? Was there much of that going on, or? I mean, it's an ideal time when you have the pros in the boat watching you, but it's also when you at the end of the week you gotta perform. So
Yeah, I know one of the D3 skiers showed their ski to Marcus, and Marcus was just, oh no, you can't ride it like this.
Nice.
So Marcus got out his tools and fixed it up, and I think that's a case by case basis where, and the pros know that. If anybody's familiar with that, it's the pros that you can't just change your equipment unnecessarily. So unless somebody just had something really strange with their ski, I think everything was left as it is. All right, Glenn Jubak, 35 off.
Ooh.
Phenomenal skiing for Glenn. He's going to get a full 2 at 35. That's amazing skiing, Mike.
2 at 35 live on the internet. That's pretty impressive. So
Should we rub it in? Should we look and see if anybody ran less than 2 at 35 yesterday? And if Glenn
I know, really, he should have been out
should
there.
have gotten in the
But the thing, and we'll go back to the nerve part. So he was up here having fun with on the webcast. But then was Thomas down there making him feel comfortable about everything's good. Do your job, I'll do my job. Whatever Marcus was helping you with, just focus on it. So that's pretty impressive skiing.
No, that's really, really good skiing. Mike, could you run 2 at 35 off right now?
No.
Yeah.
No. I got this new padding here that I'm a little concerned on the start if I'm going to be able to get my knee close enough to my chest. Maybe if I dock start, then I won't have to do the deep water. I can make my dock start.
You could drop a ski for sure, right?
I don't know.
You don't know. That was a bit silent.
I'm gonna I actually did give thought the other day about taking a little cable run. Here we go for the victory pass.
Yeah, he gets his drive-by. All right,
Nice.
Congrats to Glenn Jubak. We'll see his wife, Teresa, a wonderful wife, to buy this as a present for Glenn. It was a big surprise for him. So since Glenn gets a gift like this, he comes out live to the world and runs 2 at 35. I think Teresa's got a weekend out of town as well on her list of things to do.
I'm giving Glenn on a scale from 1 to 100. I'm giving him a 93.
93?
Yeah, 93.
All right. Official score in from our panel of professional judges.
Me, myself, and I.
Glenn Jubak scoring a 93. So we already have scores in the 90s. Glenn just setting the bar really high, really, really high to begin this event with a 93. So now what we're going to wait to do is see how the other scores add up. Will Thomas DeGaspery, is his pro next? Okay. So we will have
I
our
think
official first
Thomas might be getting nervous.
Now who's carrying who,
It
right?
looks like we just had a PB, and now we've got Thomas.
Well, we know Thomas is going to be comfortable behind the boat. He's a Team Malibu guy. This is the boat he trains behind all the time, and we've actually had him up here a couple of times over the weekend talking about the boat and its performance, and just obviously an amazing athlete. We've discussed some of the feats that he's had in the last little bit, and he's always been a great skier. But I think last year we really could consider his breakout year where he legitimately won some big events, and he's running 41 in runoffs, and he's doing some things that are blowing people's mind, and now so he's part of that establishment and very comfortable being in the middle of something fun like this. Okay, well, what's the first thing you see immediately when you see a guy like Glenn who's running 2 at 35 with his mulligan? The boat's going a little bit slower, yes, but then you see a guy like Thomas come out and run 32 off. What's the first thing that you see and the difference in the two skiers?
I think the biggest thing that you see is that the more speed. They're maintaining their speed. There's not the highs and lows. More of a sweeping type of a turn because he's maintaining what he's got. You'll see a lot of, when you're watching the replay here, you see like a lot of more of a sweep instead of a hook at the turn. He's controlling his speed. He's letting his speed create his angle instead of slowing and hooking. And you'll also see that, there was some separation with Glenn. You'll see Thomas, really keep his direction.
Well, when you say separation, you mean handle being away from the body.
Right. So you'll see more of the speed allows it, more direction instead of a fighting, pulling, and separating at the wakes.
Okay, lots of shout-outs, guys. I'm going to try to get to all your emails if you're tuning in. Jason's got a shout-out for Marcus. The Liquid Leisure crew is certainly tuned in over there in England. And again, big thanks to Webcast TV for even putting this together for us. It's great to know that, Mike, our friends around the world are tuned in right now and they're watching us. They're probably having a laugh at us. And Webcast TV will be at Liquid Leisure for their event. So if you're... Here's the replay.
Yeah. This is where you see that more of that sweeping turn instead of a chattering ski. I mean, yeah, it's a different speed, but also boat speed, but it's also more of the lines that he's running are allowing him to run through the turn more.
And it's just phenomenal camera work too, Mike. I mean, what we're able to see right now with the crane and with the boys running these cameras is really making it very evident the things you're talking about.
And it's really cool. Webcasting, what it allows, it allows the world to see an event. So now we can pick these perfect sites and bring it to the world. We don't have to wait for them to come to us. And I mean, that's the beauty of a webcast worldwide.
All right, this would be 38 off. T-Gas. I don't know that he's missed it yet this weekend, except for in the Spin It to Win It contest. He's also, we'll see him later. Thomas DeGaspery and Seth Stisher, the only two that are skiing in all 4 of our events. So DeGaspery still has one more ride for his team, Team Malibu, in the head-to-head challenge a little bit later.
Watching that angle, Dash is up there. He's on it. This is as good as it gets as far as watching water skiing. And what's really cool is that this video will be archived, so you can download it later. And I think super, like running some slow-mo of what you just saw, really super slow-mo, or picking a frame and looking at stuff. I mean, this is almost from these angles that you're not used to seeing. It's almost like an instructional when you break it down and slow-mo it.
It'll be fun later. The team challenge, the crown jewel of this 2-day event.
Without these sponsors that we have, it's not possible to put together this webcast so the world can see it. I mean, Malibu has stepped up to the plate. Mastercraft has stepped up to the plate. Nautique has stepped up to the plate with the top 3 event boats in the world.
Just this webcasting in general, being able to do this, we can reach such a, well, the audience is live, first of all water ski fans around the world. As I just said, we're getting texts and emails from buddies, people maybe we haven't spoken with in a really long time that are enjoying,
He's on it.
Well, T-Gas is going to get through this 39.
Tons of room at 4-ball. Attaboy.
All right. 39 down.
I want to see the replay of that. That was a nice pass.
I guess his finger's okay. There was some discussion earlier in the week if he was going to be able to ski because of a jammed finger, and
he nailed it.
Wow, this replay is that start will work.
Watch how much room he has into 3-ball. And 3-ball was the cut the other day. Look at that.
Yeah, Thomas, one of the only 4 people that ran 39 in the money round yesterday morning, and obviously showing that he's kind of owning this 39 right now. It's a beautiful sight. Skiing behind his own boat, the Malibu LXI.
I think he's got that good ski dialed in there, Sully. Hanging in there for him. That's a lot of room at 39. You think Thomas is looking to make a statement here?
Well, I think he is. I think he's just getting warmed up. I mean, he's on Team Malibu a little bit later, as we've discussed, and those guys are looking to defend their title from last year. So he's a young guy. He's in great shape, but it's a lot of skiing. He's doing spinning 38s yesterday. He's running off the dock at 39s this morning. Getting the back really stiff. Now he's run 39 again. He's going to take a crack at 41. He's got to go out later and do it all over again. So we'll, the energy level as these days go on certainly depletes a little bit.
Pop.
Oh, and sticks the tip. Looked like he might have released. At least his back foot came out.
If we get that slow-mo, you'll see where he goofed up on it. You missed it on his turn-in. He dropped his shoulders in and leaned on it and got thrown up and out. Bang. That didn't feel good. How impressive is this Malibu team? They got some heavy hitters in the slalom department.
Yeah, let's run down these lists. Team Malibu for this afternoon: Billy Susie, Nick Parsons, Drew Ross. T-Gas, who we just saw run a half at 41, and world champion Will Asher topping off that list. Team Mastercraft, Steve Cockram, Marcus Brown, our champ from this morning, Glenn Campbell, Wade Cox, and Jody Fisher, our Moomba champion from earlier in the year. And Nautique, the legend Andy Mapple, Kyle E., Jason Seals, Aaron Larkin, and the world record holder Chris Parrish at the top of that list. So these teams are stacked. I mean, these are, the three big boat companies all sponsoring this event. They've got the biggest teams, and they've all got severe heavy hitters.
Sully, we have a guest up here, Timo. Timo, any words of advice for your camper?
We're going to be okay. My boy Nestor's he's getting ready to throw down out there.
Have you, Timo, you've been around for a couple days. You've been rubbing elbows with these guys. It's really exciting for them, and this has got to be fun for you as well to see the excitement of these amateurs who want so bad to come and hang out with you for the weekend and watch you ski in person and actually be able to compete with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just pumped to get to ski with them. I'd happy to get to go rip again. It's going to be good.
All right, so De Gasperi just ran a half at 41, and the professional judging panel gave Glenn, his partner, 93 points. So they have a total of 207. De Gasperi's score, a half at 41, is equal to you old school scores as 114 and a half buoys. Plus Glenn Jubak's 93 gives Team De Gasperi 207 and a half points. So that we have the score to beat. Do we know what that means yet? We're not really sure. We're just going to have to see. I guess after Andy and Will Asher get done, we'll have a little bit more of a comparison and see what it's going to take for it to line out. But the score to beat, I think Glenn just came out pretty strong with that 93 points from the judging panel. With a phenomenal score of 2 at 35 and a lot of effort, hooting and hollering, throwing the fist, and really excited to be here. Came down and said hello to his girls earlier on the mic. So the more excited these guys are, I think the higher their points are going to go. So make sure you have Nestor all pumped up, man, ready to throw the fist and give some love to his people.
Yeah, I got 110% confidence in Nestor. It's going to be good. No doubt Glenn threw it down, as I'm sure everyone else will. But we're on top of things. We're going to be good.
I like to hear it. Well, good luck to you, Timo. Have a good set.
All right, thanks.
All right, up on the water right now, Lynn Pitts. Lynn, certainly in the day-to-day activities, has been right in the middle of everything since she arrived. Really phenomenal lady. Here with her husband, Russ. They've been just enjoying the activities. And Lynn has only been skiing for several years, and as you can see, she's not going outside the buoys. She's shadowing, which is just fine with us. I believe she's run, actually, with Thomas Moore here, who we just had a chat with. She came down and skied at Drew Ross's ski school with Thomas Moore as the instructor, and she ran the course for the first time with Thomas. So that alone, we know that these skiers that are skiing alongside there are great instructors, actually getting some of our skiers through the course for the first time.
Yeah.
So Lynn making it outside at the start, but shadowing the rest. And we'll give her... We'll see what the professional panel of judges is willing to score Lynn on that. We'll stop her at the end and give her another pass.
You're skiing, right? No, I guess I was supposed to do commentating because I was the only one who watched.
All right, again, a big thanks to Webcast TV. We can't say enough about them. Doing the night jump there at Liquid Leisure. So, hey, if there's anybody jumping over 50 meters, make sure you email that London night jump at Danny at llski.com. Liquid Leisure, of course, llski.com. Danny there to get signed up. It's going to be a phenomenal event. Also brought to you by Webcast TV.
We're gonna wait till the 8 minutes. Okay.
I'm happy with it.
Awesome. Glenn, come have a seat. Let's talk about it while Lynn comes back on her pass. Hey, Glenn, why don't you walk us through Lynn skiing? You're just out there as an amateur, first person on the water, and, hey, you really stepped it up, right? So let's talk about what do you think, what's going through your head as you're leaving the dock on that first pass with certainly a little bit of uncertainty in your head?
Well, it's just the first ball jitters. You don't want to be on the server somewhere, being known as the one that fell around ball number 1 on your first pass. So, I just took it easy first pass and just wanted to get that through. And then after that, it was just all fun. It was just a blast to do it. And it's just more nerves at first, but it's great. This is a blast coming here.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you enjoyed it. Hey, that mulligan worked out well, too. You added, would you add 6 buoys, 7 buoys to your score after the mulligan?
That's right. Yeah, that's the way it is, right? They should have every tournament like that.
I agree. Mike said the same thing. If he'd had a mulligan, he'd probably run a few more buoys.
That, and you can ask for soft times.
Yeah, this is a very casual environment.
That's
We're
right.
not too worried about a record capability. All right. Team DeGaspery here together. You guys, hey, phenomenal skiing, by the way, man. You're owning 39 right now. It's really cool. How well you're skiing with a little bit of an injury. Obviously skiing behind your personal boat there, the LXI, and it looks like, Dave Gooden, you do have the ski worked out. You've only ridden it a couple times, and it seems to be working well. You guys tallied a score from the professional panel of judges here of 207.5.
Out of a possible 200.
Yeah, extra credit, right? The 207 comes from a half at 41 is equal to 114.5 points in traditional event scoring. You, on a scale of 100, earned 93 points.
Not bad.
Due to your buoy count and your effort and your excitability out there. So 207.5. We'll know what that means after this team of Lynn Pitts and Chris Parrish ski. We'll have something to gauge it against, but I think you guys have come out pretty strong and could sit there pretty close to the top. Thomas?
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. He skied pretty good. He ran 32, and I was very impressed. And I'm glad that I got to meet all these people this weekend. It was a good opportunity to, share water ski lessons. Hopefully, we will win this event.
Well, only time will tell. I think you guys definitely have a strong score, and we just have to wait and see how things rock out. But hang close. What happens if we have a
girls.
runoff? Do we ski again?
Hi, Allison, Sophie,
had- if we-
Veronica, Charlotte.
If there's a tie, we never know. With our professional panel of judges here behind me, it's tough to know what's going to happen. So we'll maybe you get another ride. Maybe we have a runoff here, and we'll have to draw straws.
Well, it's good to be thought we might be at the top.
Hey, I have confidence in you guys. That's going to be tough to beat. A half at 41 and a big score and a comeback after your mulligan is going to be really tough. So, Lynn Pitts and Chris Parrish, the team on the water right now. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We'll be talking to you soon. Maybe on the podium, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Lynn. Lynn Pitts, phenomenal woman. She's actually, I believe she's a corporate trainer and speaker. She goes in and reorganizes and helps corporations and businesses with their, I believe, their communication, their organization.
This dude wants to run a pass at 28 miles an hour, 15 off is his best. And he should maybe run 28. Him saying maybe 28.
All right, Lynn getting 4 passes, just looking really great out there. She's having a great time. All right.
He's the British dude. He was ripping it too. I bet he should probably run 28 off or 32 off or something.
He already skied.
No. We're not going in order. All right, big applause for Lynn Pitts down there at the dock. Looking great on her ski. Like we said, she's only run the course a couple times, but managing to stay. And it's like Glenn said, you don't want to be that guy that's locked up in cyberspace somewhere, known as the guy that went out and fell around the first buoy on your world debut for your water ski ride. All right, Lynn Pitts' official score from our professional panel of judges is 87. So she is 6 points. That's a 6-point deficit to Glenn Juback. So that really means that if her partner Chris Parrish is going to tie, he's going to have to run a half at 43 and have 6 more points than
He can do it.
DeGaspery did.
He can do it.
Well, he has, in fact.
He's done it more than one time. But it's anybody's ball game out there.
It really is anybody's ballgame, Marcus. It's Parrish running. I believe he ran a half at 39 yesterday morning and taking the rest of the day off. Maybe he went back and rethought his ski setup, had a ski ride yesterday afternoon,
You know,
to reconsider what he needs to do this afternoon skiing for Ski Nautique in the team challenge.
he skied last weekend at a tournament here, record capability 2-round event in Orlando at Hancock, and he looked really good. He missed 39 both rounds, but he looked like he should have ran deep through 41. So I think if he gets his mind right, I think he's going to go far. He's having fun at least. See that already.
Well, CP, obviously, there might be a lot of you that know him as the Tower, and he certainly is. When you ride in the boat, and this guy stands just behind the wakes, he's massive. I mean, he's got big shoulders on him, and he's at least 6'5", with a tremendous reach. And to watch him ski from the boats, it's a pretty amazing thing.
He's not very smooth, huh?
The lefty, as we discussed, Marcus, I think you might even have had a phone conversation with him the other day about his gaits. And he, you know, the small things that he's discussing, the intricacies of that, we can't see the things that are going on in his mind a lot of times because his gaits are obviously so phenomenal, even when he's not satisfied with them, that, you know, they look really nice.
Yeah, you know, he's been running 39 and a half off for at least 12 years. I remember him in a runoff with Jeff Rogers at the 96 Nationals, and he's been doing it for so long that it's almost like he can go out on autopilot and get it done. So those the gait intricacies you're talking about, and the fact that it's not always feeling perfect to him, but the fact that he can still go out and run it, it's pretty amazing. You know why he's the world record holder.
Yeah, especially for his age. You know, we talked about yesterday, it'd be interesting if we could start to collect stats. And obviously, you know, all of us, as we're learning to run 39, you're going to miss it more than you make it. But if you could pick a point where you started, you know, holding, you know, the percentage of times 39 is run through record tournaments and through professional tournaments from a point in everyone's career, it would be interesting to see what those percentages are as far as, you know, your batting average essentially of getting through 39. And Chris Parrish would certainly be one of those ones that, you know, that would be well over 500 if you consider all of his record rounds as well, where he can go and run 39 3 rounds in a row.
You know, I think CP would probably be up there at the top. Obviously, I think Andy Mapp would be at the top of that heap. That looks like 35 off, really, really smooth. I don't know what the Tower is doing. I think he's not even awake yet. He's still got the crusties in his eyes. You can see him ride the ski really well. You notice how he keeps the tip of the ski down by keeping his body moving through the turn. Really, really textbook stuff. It's not new school, it's not old school, it's what CP does, and that's why he is Chris Parrish, and it's what everybody should, you know, what you should take away from it is the movements and what he does correct. CP. So what's this, 38 off?
Yeah, this should be a cool little walk in the park 38 for Parrish. I tell you what, it's really cool. You know, Marcus, we're sitting here lakeside, and we have the monitor that's giving us the replays. But now, you know, with time delay, we're watching what the rest of the world is seeing, and what you're hearing from us it's pretty exciting to know that webcast TV and this technology, you know, we can have a worldwide audience, and you can grow it. You know, this is all available for advertising too. For those of you who are water ski fans or would like to support these events, certainly it's available for you to become a sponsor and to show your product or your service to the world during one of these webcast events.
It's a really cool deal. You can be on the other side of the world watching this event here in Florida, watching Parrish slay 38 off. Like it's nobody's business. I don't really know how he does that, but
well, if we fast forward over, you know, we've been talking back and forth with Danny Budd this morning, and you know, those guys, it's happy hour there. You know, they're having sinking a few pints and watching this and enjoying it. Yeah, so it's the world clock does well for the guys that are ahead of us.
So what's the deal? He's got to run a half at 43 off to tie or to beat?
Lynn scored 6 points less than Glenn on their raw score of 100 points. I hope I can explain this the way I'm seeing it in my head. So DeGaspery ran a half at 41. So that 6-point deficit needs to be made up by Parrish. So Parrish needs to score 6 more points than DeGaspery did.
So a half at 43.
A half at 43 would give them a tie in points.
Well, from what I hear, he's been running some good buoys in practice.
He has. In fact, I think he did run 41 out here before the tournament, maybe a week ago before the tournament. So you and I both know it's in him. He has that score, no doubt about it.
I think right now, today, if anybody had to go out and run a half at 43, you'd be putting your money on Parrish. Because it sure wouldn't be one of us.
And CP actually, quite honestly, he's probably got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after running a half at 39 yesterday morning and then sitting around and watching everybody ski.
He's mad.
Yeah.
He's angry. He's going to use that right here.
So
39.
Just phenomenal angle from the crane. Chris Parrish, 39.5 off. What's he got?
Deep at 1 again.
That you can't buy that start at Performance Ski and Surf, that's for sure, unfortunately. But Chris Parrish, wow.
Look at that. Wow.
That's how you run 39.5 off, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Parrish certainly improving his score from yesterday morning.
Yeah, that looked easy. He wasn't even trying. I think he bobbled once.
All right, here's the replay, Marcus.
There's that start you were talking about. Just a little deep at 1, but it's CP. He can hang on to that.
Yeah, it's more pull than the average bear can hang on to, certainly. But Parrish is so strong. You would prefer to not get in that deep, correct, Marcus? But
well, you watch him ski. You don't realize he's 6 foot, almost 6 tall. He looks like a freaking cat. He's hanging on to stuff that JB hangs on to.
phenomenal skiing.
So he's coming in, 41 off.
Hey, this is some pressure. He's got Lynn Pitts on his team. I mean,
Well,
he needs to perform for Lynn.
I don't think he wants to let her down, but it's a tough, tall order. Mike Ferraro is behind me. He's calling 4. So
well, four would be the biggest score of the weekend.
4 would be the biggest score. You know, I don't know. You know what? I can't make any predictions, but
yeah, so he's shooting for half at 43 or 1 at 43 to tie. Things are friendly here, so we don't know. The best score of the weekend so far, Jamie Beauchesne with a 3. But Parrish certainly skiing better than he did yesterday morning. He's outside of 2, but that's going to be it.
that wasn't a bad one. I don't really. I think he might have just lost a little ground in the 2-ball. I think he's pissed.
I don't think he's going to be too happy with that. Well, you know, Lynn, he has to go back to the dock and answer to Miss Lynn Pitts.
I know that's going to be
He
even
has
harder.
to own
That's going
up
to be
to
even
the
harder
fact
than running.
of, you know, the fact that he only ran 2, you know, and took a slack hit. Lynn's a tough woman. She's here to win. So
Okay, what's harder, running one half buoy at 43 off, or having to answer to Lynn?
I don't know. Lynn, phenomenal woman. I hope she enjoyed her ride out there today. We are going to keep definitely Thomas DeGaspery and Glenn Jubak are going to hold the lead after these 2 pairings. Let's get back to some internet questions while we have a minute.
Wasn't much to see. Just ugly, yeah.
All right, official score in for Lynn Pitts and Chris Parrish, 203 points. Just behind T-Gas and Glenn Jubak at 207.5 points. So Parrish pulling him in close, only 4.5 points separating that. Our panel of professional judges keeping this honest, not going to let anybody slip in. Parrish giving it the effort with 2, for sure.
Who we have coming up next?
All right, here's a good question, Mark. This is from Toby Daff, watching in New South Wales and actually in Albury, in Australia. Speaking of Schnitz and ski development, Mike and I had a chat about that earlier. What are your thoughts on moving parts? Schnitz has been discussing this for some time about flexible wings that change under load. What would you think about something like that?
You know what? I think moving parts could be the next evolution for the sport. I think it could be a direction that we might need to consider going. The problem is, right now, the governing body in the United States, it's kind of has a restriction on any moving parts on the ski, if I'm not mistaken. So, moving parts on the fin, moving parts on the bindings, skis that fold in half when you turn too hard or don't fold in half. I don't know. I think it might be a direction we need to investigate, but I'd rather be on my ski than a ski made out of Nerf football material with a sliding ruler for a fin. So,
well, that's certainly. But you know, the newer companies and you know, you and Denny and guys like Schnitz and you know, minds like Andy Mapple and what Wade Cox and those guys are developing at HO. You know, that's always. We'll do our best to answer those questions in a timely manner. You know, for personal reasons, we're trying to get down those list of things that are going to work best. So, you know, we just got to. It's a one thing at a time, and you know, I think John Horton has a fin like that kind of development with his carbon fins. You know, he's already, you know, just scratching the surface with the flexibility of what he's doing with creating carbon fin.
Have you skied a carbon fin, Sully?
I have.
You have. What'd you feel?
Not enough to. I didn't ski it enough to really give it a solid answer. People that ride them and believe in them, again, it's about believing in your equipment. But there are some people that certainly believe in those and think that it's a better setup for their ski. All right, next on the water, Heike Newman.
Heike's from Frankfurt, huh?
Yeah, she's from Frankfurt, a former basketball player, I believe. Her husband, I'm sorry, I'm not sure that I still have the email, but he emailed in yesterday, closer to when the show ended, to wish his wonderful wife good luck today. So I'm sure he's tuned in again from Germany.
They want you to analyze the replays.
Heike riding an HO CDX behind this Malibu LXI.
I watched Heike the first day of the fantasy camp, and she improved tons from the first ride to the second ride. Basically, I believe she should have ran the course. She got maybe 5 buoys, maybe 1 through 4, missed 5, got 6, which was pretty impressive. You can see here on the replay, she fell back a little on that gate turn. She actually missed the gates late, which, as we all know, makes it even tougher. And then she fell back there again, but she's still fine, just sitting back a little bit with her hips. What do you see, Sully?
I just see the same. There seems to be a lot of rotation with her hips and her shoulders. She's trying to get her body facing across the course rather than just relaxing and setting in. That will allow her ski to hold a stronger edge if she could just kind of relax her body and let herself open up a little bit. So she's essentially, by trying to turn and face the direction she's traveling, she's fighting more against the pull of the boat, which is having a negative effect on holding that edge.
Yep. Like you said, the more you open up or the more you square up to the boat, the better the edge control and actually better the edge of the ski you have in the water. So one-handed gate, I like that. What she was doing yesterday was pulling a little long. You see that? She pulled a little bit long into 2. She's looking pretty good, though. Actually, she's ripping this pass.
She is. She looks like she's skiing with a little bit more speed. She took more with that one-handed gate. She carried more speed into the start of the course, and it allowed her. There's a crash. It allowed her to move her ski a little bit more freely and ski into a little bit more angle, which essentially, you know, speed and angle is kind of the chicken and the egg thing, isn't it, Marcus?
Yep. It's tough to know. People don't realize, but you have to try to build speed first, or as you're building angle, you got to build speed, though. Without speed, you can't have angle. She's looking really good here, though. You can see right there, she tries to kind of twist back towards the next buoy. That cut looked really good, though. Right there, reaching for the handle. She did a little rotation, Sully, and that got her weight back, and it brought the tip of the ski up.
All right, Heike's ski partner, Team Seth Stisher. Heike skiing with Seth. Seth certainly, if he could, would have a set or two with her. He'd get her up there to Trophy Lakes to his ski school and get some of that sorted out. I know that Seth certainly is a technician on the water. As well as, you know, in the driver's seat and coaching. So, Heike, I believe she's been over here to ski before.
you can't tell she's from Germany, dude. Her English is
No,
really good.
she speaks phenomenal English. She's a tall girl. She and Parrish actually did the reach test. And,
Really?
and
Who won that?
She was only several inches shorter in reach than the big CP here behind us.
Wow.
So pretty amazing. She's a tall girl with some long arms, long legs. She's built to be a slalom skier for sure.
It's a good skill. They get 2 more passes.
Yeah, come talk.
You want to talk about this one?
Come in. Here, we'll give you the wire. You interview him. You want to interview him? They can interview this one. All right, Team Lynn Pitts and Chris Parrish here. CP, here's a mic for you. I'll take this one. Hey, phenomenal performance out of both of you. Did you have fun out there while you were skiing?
It was the most fun. I was having a blast. As soon as I got in the water, all the nerves melted away, and it was just skiing.
You looked like you had a smile on your face the whole time, and you had some beautiful turns out there. Do you feel like you've improved with the lessons earlier in the week and skiing with these guys? Was it a better ski ride for you than when you arrived?
It was 100% better. I got several phenomenal tips from both of these guys, actually. Marcus and Chris both coached me, and I can't wait to get back out and just keep working on it. I'm gonna be ripping it by the end of the year.
You're certainly motivated. I actually, as hard as you're working, if we can add women to this sport, I think you might be in the pro division here in a year or two.
I'm working on it.
All right, CP, hey, by the time you went out on the water, we did the math. I don't know if you did it in your head, but you needed to run a half at 43 to tie up with Team DeGaspery. So what was going through your head as you're out on the water?
Well, I just want to go out there and just do a little better than yesterday, and worked on my gates today. I felt like yesterday I was not getting free of the boat and losing a lot of speed out there. So half at 43 would have been really nice or a little better, but I'm really pleased with the 2 at 41 today.
Well, yeah, hey, 2 at 41 is a phenomenal score. You definitely rode your ski better today than you did yesterday morning. And predictions for this afternoon. I mean, we got the big one coming up, right? The team challenge, and you're holding down that team, your new team, Team Nautique. So you've got a good warm-up in for this afternoon, huh?
Yeah, that's the key word, momentum, and that's what I needed, and that's what I've been looking for. And I've been talking to Andy and the rest of the guys and Larkin, and we're really excited about the team challenge later.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you both. Lynn, you were phenomenal, and we will certainly be seeing you both later.
A lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, hearing from Team Parrish there. They did an awesome job, and it's just fun because Lynn, like, as Lynn just said, Marcus, she skied with both of you, with you and Parrish for a few days, and then she gets to come out here and hang with CP, and she's on his team, and she's a wonderful lady, and it's just great that we're creating events like this.
This Pro-Am is actually one of 3 that I know of, and it's a really cool deal. It really gets the pros and the amateurs together, and people really get a lot out of it. Heike's actually ripping it up again.
She's certainly gotten better as this set has gone on. Maybe she had a little bit of nerves when she first went out there on the water, but she looks very comfortable now. She's skiing with more speed. She's waving at the crowd. She just looks like, obviously we're here to have fun. The crowd's loosening up in general down there and getting a little bit louder. So Seth Stisher on the back of that boat down there getting ready. Big claps. And here's
Check
the
out
replay, Heike.
Check out that 2-ball. She rotated just a little bit. Got a little bit back behind her ski, was slow, didn't quite get to 3, but she's looking, see that cut right there? She's facing the boat with her shoulders, her chest, her hips. Really good. You just see her ski do a little bit of a bobble right there, and she's forcing it just a bit. Overall, from when I first saw her 2 days ago, she looks tons better. It's night and day. She was struggling to get near 2 buoys, and she was really good just now. She's got to be working the nerves out, I'd say. Who we got coming up? Seth?
Yeah,
Seth Stisher.
This is Team Stisher. So our official score for Heike, she comes in at 90 points. 90 points. So Heike has landed. This is our professional panel of judges. Scores Heike 3 points behind Glenn Jubak. So I tell you, this Team DeGaspery is going to be tough to beat. So that means that Seth is going in with a 3-point deficit. He needs to run 3.5 buoys at 41 to take out Team DeGaspery.
That's going to be a really, really tall order. I mean, Seth is capable. He's never done that, but I'm sure he could pull something out right here, right now, for all you guys at home.
Well, that's certainly a doable practice score for Seth. I'm sure he's been to 4-ball at 41 before. In a casual, relaxed environment like this, he's had Seth and DeGaspery are the only skiers to ski in every single event this weekend. So we know Seth is getting familiar with the water, but he's also got to be getting a little bit tired, right?
Yeah, he's got to be getting fatigued. Seth does a lot of traveling clinics. He runs H2 osmosis up in South Carolina, Charleston area, and he never stops. And sometimes he puts his own personal needs aside, and it's just tough. It's tough being an athlete, trying to train, trying to make a living. But Seth is one of the guys that's on all sides of the fence. You see right there, beautiful opening pass for Seth. He's making that Nomad look good.
Here's a funny one. We just had Parrish up here. Mike Mara. Mike answered some of the questions yesterday with us. A quick memory I have of Parrish. He says at the 05 Malibu Open, he had VIP access to the tent, and he and his daughter were in there, and Parrish came in to get some food, and he said he's never watched somebody eat so much food, and then 30 minutes later he went out and won the event. So CP, he's a big boy. You got a body that big. I guess you need to feed it. So.
See Seth coming in 35 off, looking really good, rocking the one-handed gait. Little wheelie at 3, freaking stroking it. Seth skis. If you watch Seth, he's not a power skier. He's a technician. He rides the ski really well. He doesn't push on the ski when he's not supposed to. And, yeah, you see there on the replay. You see how well he rides the ski and how well the tip stays down. Almost too good.
Yeah, it's amazing this. And he is riding the new ski, correct?
He's riding the new Nomad with the old graphics. It's one of the first.
Yeah, Seth really is he's a beautiful skier to watch. You've seen his photos in the magazine. He takes phenomenal photos. Actually being on the cover, Seth just an amazing skier. Got big ups from Will Asher's brother, Thomas. Those guys are headed to Beaver Lake. There's a big jump tournament in Beaver Lake this weekend, so all the jumpers are headed up there to the Carolinas. So Thomas is giving a shout. I think they're about to go, I'm sure, having some training sessions right now, going out to slap the wedge and strap it on. Hey, Tommy boy, nice jumping. I know it's going well for you, and I hope you guys have a great weekend up there to all the jumpers. And a big congratulations to Ryan Fitz, who I hear is actually engaged. That was new news to me after my Chinese vacation.
You call that a vacation? No, I'm kidding.
Me too.
Seth getting through 38 off.
All right, Seth, he's a little bit of loose rope. Well, that would be interesting to watch on replay for sure. But
you mean loose rope's not good?
What does Jamie call it now? Slack management?
Yeah, slack management. Little stop, little bobble at 1. He stopped the ski, got a little on the back foot.
Whoa. There's some slide there too, huh?
A little bit of slide. He rides the line out well, though. He keeps his body going out past the second wake. Still, it's 38 off, making it look pretty easy.
Yeah, I know, Seth, again, these guys are so good. They're running 39 so much that, you get to 38 and where a lot of people would panic when you start to get to these line lengths. It's these guys have, and obviously you included, you have the peace of mind to just stay in control and know there's no reason to panic. Don't turn too hard. Don't push on your ski. There's no reason to try to get the rope back in. Let your ski ride. Trust your equipment. Let your ski come through the turn, and you can still get to the other side, right?
Yep. That's what separates the pros from the rest of the skiers, in my opinion, is the ability to make up for your mistakes and still accelerate and get to the next ball. Not a bad one. I don't know what
inside
happened.
3.
I don't know what happened there.
I'm a little confused about that as well. I thought that was a really nice start.
Yeah, he was early. He was looking really good out of 2. I don't know what happened.
All right, if you're just tuning in, we're in the 3rd group of the Pro-Am up. We're going back to get him. The Pro-Am Challenge brought to you by Malibu Boats. Malibu with a brand new LXI.
Check out that 2-ball turn. I guess it wasn't quite as good as we thought, but he was still fine coming into 3. Just miscalculated a slight bit. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain that one.
Well, we'll see with Gordon West taking that Malibu back down the lake if he's just getting a ride or if we have issue. And again, with these cruise control systems and 3 of the best drivers in the world, we've had virtually no re-rides all weekend. And just big thanks to all the judges, everybody that's here that makes these tournaments happen from an officiating standpoint. It takes scorers, it takes judges, it takes drivers on towers and in rooms with calculators. And, without that infrastructure, competition skiing couldn't happen. And these people come out and spend their time here with us while we can be out and perform and be in front of the camera while they're not. So big thanks to them for what they do.
Yeah, it's not quite like a practice set with your buddy, huh? Just one boat, one driver.
Yeah, it takes a little bit more to put something like this together. Even a normal tournament, there are hundreds of tournaments around the country, in the U.S. as well as around the world during the summer. And the skiers go and enjoy it, and it takes a lot of people to put something like that together and a lot of infrastructure. And without the officials,
Seth and his partner Tad Schreiber just put on the pro event for us about a week and a half ago, and it ended up being probably one of the best events that any of us have ever skied in. The weather kind of sucked, but beyond that, the format was awesome. The way the tournament ran, the skiing wasn't up to par, but we had such a great time, and the way they did the head-to-head, it just a lot of work went into it. And Seth is probably still coming down off that high, and to see him here still competing. Should have ran 39 yesterday. It's pretty cool to see him still out here tearing it up.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And speaking of officials who dedicate themselves to what we do, just getting to an email from Ian Campbell, Glenn's dad, who follows us around the world, and so he is getting a re-ride.
Looks almost like the same setup, actually. Looked identical.
That might have been the instant replay. But Ian Campbell, Glenn's dad, is one of the best drivers in the world. Again, like the 3 gentlemen we have here with us this weekend, and he's saying he's enjoying the format.
You see here on the replay, it almost was picture perfect, word for word, exactly the previous pass. He got a pretty good setup in the 1. A little bit of slack, but you can see he's still accelerating. He's still getting his feet back underneath him and through into 2. What he does right here is he reaches for the handle. He panics. His weight falls back. Ski shoots out in front. That little delay right there causes him to be laid at 3, a little narrow. And you can see him. He just bumps the buoy, and those buoys, believe it or not, they're hard when you're going 30-plus miles an hour. So,
no doubt about that. All right, so the official score in for Team Stisher, 200.5 points, puts them in 3rd place. Chris Parrish and Lynn Pitts hanging in there with 203 points in 2nd place. And Team DeGaspery, which is going to be tough to beat, 207.5 points.
That's a big score. I don't even know what that means, but 207.5, that's a big number.
Hey, Marcus, I just got an email from your boss.
Uh-oh.
Brett Maleitner and Natalie Hamrick. Hey, guys.
No way. Brett's in France, apparently, huh?
I believe so, isn't he?
Wow, I guess so. What do we got here?
I thought that he was. I heard that he was over there, so I'm assuming this Brett and that email means it's nuts.
If I see Hey Smarticus on there, I know it's from Natalie Hamrick. She's just bummed that she can't be over here skiing with us right now.
Nat, we love you. We miss you. Nuts. We miss you. I don't want to tell you I love you on worldwide commentary. All right, hello to you guys. Hanging in Switzerland. JP going to Eurolac. Are you headed over there for those tournaments, MB?
I'm going to try to head over there. You know what? It's just tough, but I've been doing pretty well so far this year, feeling pretty good. A couple good finishes down under. Good weekend or good week here, and I don't know. I'm going to try to dig deep. Maybe crack the piggy bank open. See if I can get me a ticket to get over there to France. There's 2 events back-to-back weekends, so.
So MB,
yeah,
you're the 39 cold champion.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
I don't know, man. I watched guy after guy go out there, 1 ball, 2 ball, and I feel like maybe that was an advantage to me because I got to, all right, scope the field. What are they doing? Well, they're falling back. They're rotating. They're doing weird stuff. Probably because they don't have a run up to 39, and I went out and tried to adjust upon what I saw other people screwing up on. So I feel lucky, Sully.
Well, MB, I hope you. I was assuming that 39 cold championship would get you an automatic invite for the next 5 years in any major title.
I know. I wish it was so.
All right, on the water, Nestor Agramonte.
This guy's a strong skier. The problem is, I feel like his ski is slightly too small for him. Just a tiny, tiny bit too small.
Okay, MB, this is no different than I know you've skied, and I know that I've skied, as all of us have skied with a sore back at a contest. And Nestor aggravated his back. And so he's skiing with some pain right now, but would not have missed this opportunity to be a part of Team Timo. So Nestor getting down the course, and he's going to hold up his end of this deal for Team Timo.
Well, he just got through 4 clean buoys inside the 5th. You could see his back was probably getting a little fatigued. He asked me yesterday. He came up to me last night or earlier yesterday, and asked me what he should do. He's got a little back soreness, and I basically told him, take it easy. Don't ski anymore. Save it. Go out fresh tomorrow. And that's usually, in this sport, believe it or not, we get pulled out of position, and we have times where our backs are not cooperating. But most times you gotta give it a chance to recuperate, let your muscles, recover, and just kind of be smart about it. You want to have a good back for the rest of your life. So skiing is skiing, and we do it because it's fun, but you don't want to go kill yourself.
Well, it's definitely a contact sport. I mean, there's so much compound pressure. Even guys as young as our magazine editor and organizer, Todd Risticelli, he had back surgery due to trouble with his discs, just this last winter. So it takes some, Lucky Lows and Bob LaPoints, and I mean, these guys have had hip replacements, and so there's a lot of compression, a lot of force down on your body, and strength is important.
Yeah, in this sport, I was talking with a guy, Heath Voss. He's a supercross rider. I met him in San Francisco, and he's an avid skier as well. He runs 32 off at like 32 or 34 miles an hour. And here's a guy who's flying 80, 90 feet in the air, hundreds of times a year, just freaking killing it on his dirt bike. Yeah. And he's telling me that what we do is incredible because he never feels what he feels when he's on his water ski is nothing like what he feels on his bike. He says the G-forces that we experience when we turn is something that he never gets when he's riding his dirt bike, even as hard as he rides it. So it's pretty cool. What we can subject our body to. It's bad in a way, but it's amazing the feelings that you can get from slalom skiing.
It is, and it's great to hear that from another professional athlete and something that's pretty, totally unrelated to what we do, that it can enjoy our sport so much and consider it his favorite pastime beyond what he does to make a living. Hey, Willie, you're close. I don't know if you heard me shout out the Tommy boys watching, and your mom and dad also just tuned in and want to say hello to you. So, Willie, you got family everywhere, spread out, tuned in, watching you live. All right, Nestor, back up on the water, skiing with that sore back, but certainly giving it all that he's got. Oh,
wow.
That was really, really close to being ugly.
It was really close to the tower is what it was close to. He was looking a little bit off his game through the gate. can't tell if he went around the buoy. I'm guessing not, but he was close.
All right, here's a happy Malibu fan. Of course, this team challenge brought to us by Malibu and their new LXI. And Tess Ray in Idaho, in Bonners Ferry, Idaho, is sitting in Idaho. She said she used to ski in competition. She really wishes she was down here for us. And by the way, I have the new Malibu LXI and love the new hull design. Super boat. So that's straight from Tess Ray, a testimonial from Malibu right here during their event from a happy customer in Idaho. I'll just keep trying to push through these guys. I'd like to say hi to everybody, certainly, that's tuning in. Paul, Mindy, and Jack, the Vitucci's Redline Water Sports there in Madison, Wisconsin. If you're in the area and you need some gear, they're the place to go. Hi to you guys. Thanks for watching.
You see Nestor, he's looking pretty fatigued.
Yeah, Nestor, I think Nestor, that back started
Good
to get
effort.
to him.
Really good effort, but we're going to see what the judges score him. See what Thomas Moore is going to have to go do.
All right, Nestor, that was a lot of effort out of Nestor. He's skiing in some severe pain, so much that it's difficult for him to get out of the water. I'm not sure if that made our webcast, but Nestor's doing everything he can to be out there on top of the water. So the score from our official panel of judges brings Nestor's score in at 91 points. The panel of judges brings Nestor in for a 91. So that means that's only 2 points behind Thomas DeGaspery's Team DeGaspery. So the pressure on Thomas Moore, 2.5 buoys at 41 off to tie up with Team DeGaspery. So Team Timo needs a big score for the day, but we know that Timo's been skiing well, and we'll have to see how he can land. It's Team Stisher. Team Stisher came to join me. Here, you take this mic, guys. Let's have a chat really quick. Can my official panel of judges give me those scores? All right, Heike, first of all, you looked phenomenal out there. You look like you're having a good time. Your skiing actually got better through the set. You know, Marcus and I were up here analyzing your skiing, and you maybe looked like you were a little bit nervous and moving a little bit slow to begin with, but as the set went on, you looked more comfortable. You were taking more speed through the wakes and carving some really nice turns. How did it feel?
Yeah, thank you. It felt pretty good. I was actually very nervous. The first tournament ever in my life. I'm not a tournament skier. And so I tried to take it easy because my first pass is always the worst pass of the day. So try to go there, make it, and just ski. Have fun.
Well, you looked great. You know, your husband was watching yesterday. He sent his love from Germany. I'm sure all your friends at home are watching. Team Stisher, Seth, you had to run a lot of buoys out there, man. Hey, tell me about the runoff first. Did something go wrong?
You mean at the end of the pass there?
Yes.
I think they didn't know if I was getting a mulligan like the amateurs as well. So
you got one.
They took me back for another go at it, and unfortunately I didn't do much with it. But.
Actually, the both setups on that 39 looked very similar. Like you kind of run into the same spot there at 3-ball.
Yeah, exactly. I actually hit 3-ball both times, coming back on it, and I feel myself skiing pretty narrow down on that end of the lake, letting the close shore get in my head a little bit.
Well, you guys scored a total of 200.5 points, which puts you in third place right now. So we're going to have to sit tight and see what happens. But congratulations to you both, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, Team Stisher holding strong in third. Team Timo. Is Timo on the water? I believe Timo would be on the water.
Just ran a nice 32 off.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good to know Timo's getting a nice warm-up in. Nestor scoring a 91 points for Nestor. So Timo needs a 2.5 at 41 to take out Team DeGaspery. Mike, I don't know if Team DeGaspery is beatable right now.
Pretty big performance by Glenn starting the deal off. So it's, I had a chance to take a break and go over there and talk to some of the people, and it's really cool to see how fired up everybody is. This is the first time, we're doing something like this, and just the excitement. I think there's a good future in the fantasy camp, and hopefully next year we can make it bigger and better. Timo is on it today. I talked to Thomas before he went out, and he's been thinking about that one ball. He thinks he got it worked out. He knows where he's at on the way back. So looking forward to seeing his start at 39.
Mike, I might have to make an apology for my poor history lesson I gave earlier. I think I'm being corrected that Billy Spencer was in 1963,
okay,
and Roland Hillier was in 1965.
I know the name. Actually, I think I've actually met him. Sully, what do you got going on over there? It looks like a bunch of guys playing cards.
All right, I've got the team captains over here. Team Malibu, Team Ski Nautique, Team Mastercraft. And what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to draw. I have just spades here and no ace. It's from 2 to king. And what we need each of you to do is draw a card. And this is for the running order for how your teams will go out in performance. So I don't know how we draw a card for who draws a card first. You ready? Everybody take a card. High card will be the winner. All right. Parrish is looking good. Wade's looking better. And Willie, you're low, man. Willie with the 5, Parrish with the 10, and Coxie just knocks off CP with the jack. So what does that mean, Sully? So you choose first. When would you like your team to go out?
We have the choice for each heat. Okay, right on. So it'll. Do we decide now? Yeah. We didn't have any.
Do you need to confer? Do you need to go back and have a meeting?
We could change, right? Yeah, we could change as we go. Each one of them can change, right? Round table be back in 5.
Yeah. So okay. So we'll be back with the result. Team Mastercraft wins the card draw, followed by Parrish. You will have second choice. Decide where Will's team gets to go out. Okay. Will, you're at the mercy. All right. Well, hey, you're skiing today behind your Malibu in this event. You get a little warm up round here with the team with the Pro-Am. How are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good today. Got some nice rest, bit of sleep. Had a bit of steak in me last night. Nice steak dinner. Looking forward to going out, ripping it with these amateurs, get a little practice, and then try and throw it down against these boys in the team challenge.
You know, it's been a pretty quiet weekend thus far. You guys are the defending champions. You took the title last year. But everybody seems a bit humble about this. Last year by this time, there's a little bit more smack talk and a little bit slapping around, a little elbowing.
It's Timo back at 39.
You're just kind of holding it close right now.
Looks like he worked out that start.
Yeah, you know.
A little scrap there. He's going to need a longer rope to get around 5.
Yeah, MC first. First pick, Nazi gets the second part.
Sully, you guys work it out over there? Is there going to be a fight over this card game?
We're back over here.
All right, we're back on Heat 2. We'll just do this really quick, and then you guys can do it. You guys pick your cards, flip them up. Uh-oh, Parrish isn't feeling so good about this one.
Same card. I want to buy you.
All right, so CP wins. CP gets draw. Wade, you're low man that time. All right, Will, once you tell us a little bit about Team Malibu's strategy while Wade can shuffle.
It doesn't seem to matter right now because we keep getting the weak cards. So my strategy's pretty much been thrown out the window. I'm just gonna shift.
You might not be team captain by the time this event comes around if you keep drawing 5s. Will.
Oh.
All right, Parrish. Correct Craft wins another heat. Will, even though you picked 2 cards that time, you ended up second. You couldn't have lost to Wade's 2. All right, heat 4. Who picks?
Oh my!
All right, let's flip them. CP.
10, 10, 10, jack.
Oh, what's up? Okay, Malibu wins heat 4. Is it starting to get important? You're consistent. All right, let's mix them up. Nothing. These cards aren't even earmarked yet. But let's one last heat. This is it. Yeah.
I've drawn this 10 4 times.
All right. CP pulls the 10 4 times. You do, man. It's just a safe card.
So 1.
Okay, so Correct Craft wins the last hit.
There's the official one.
All right, so the spades draw is done. We'll get back to the water now. So who's controlling the heats there? It's pretty even, really, isn't it? I think Mastercraft has 2, Correct Craft has 2, and Malibu has 1. Is that correct?
I wrote them down, first, second, third, as we were going. That's the only one that was.
Yeah, Willie, you were low man quite often, actually. You want to hit?
I get 10, 10, 10, jack.
You don't pull very good cards, and Parrish definitely does not have a poker face. So if we
Smoking Aces Part 2 right here.
All right, Will Asher might not be team captain after that card game by the time this event happens, but
Sully, while you were over there playing games with the boys, you missed Timo's stellar effort pulling out 4 at 39.
But nevertheless, we have a tie. Team Timo ties with Team Parrish with a total score of 203. So again, this Team DeGaspery is going to be one tough team to beat. Our panel of judges is holding things tight. So again, 207.5 points to lead for Team DeGaspery, with Team Timo and Team Parrish right behind them with 203 points.
We've got a skier coming up here who's been chopping the rope a little bit during camp, so I think we might see a little short line. Yes, we will. We're starting at 22 off. Attaboy. So Jay gets through there at 22 off. This could get interesting now. He's he looked a little nervous out there, like a little tense blocking, and Drew's his teammate. And we know Drew can go down the line quite far. But Glenn put a pretty big score up there with 2 at 35. So Jay's going to have to spend a little time out on the water if these guys are going to catch the first group. The first group definitely.
No, it's a big score. It's a big score. But Jay, he's going to be a little bit more seasoned. He's going to be able to handle the pressure, and that might weigh a little bit on our professional panel back here. That might get him those few extra points. Jay is officially matched up with T-Money, with Trent Finlayson. So Team T-Money's looking to get up there with that T-Gas. We know Trent can run 39, so if we can get Jay with a decent score, pressing his points up around that 93 range, and we're going to have a good fight out of Trent to get through 39 and challenge this Team DeGaspery.
So we got Trent checking things out from the end of the lake, warming up. If he runs at 39 and Jay hangs in there, They're going to be. That's a good start. He looks a lot more relaxed.
This is Team Canada. Jay's a Canadian, and he comes down and skis with Drew, and I think is very familiar with Trent. These guys, I'm sure, probably know each other before this weekend. Oh, early fall for Jay. But it's lucky, though. He
got
gets
the
his
mulligan. Got
He
the
gets his
mulligan. Actually, that was a much better pass than his first burst. Just way more relaxed.
Big hello to Brad Beach. Hey, Brad, thanks for helping me out with that trivia. He's watching from the Bass Pro Shops office. Bass Pro Shops supporting water skiing with keeping gear in stock for those that shop there. Replay.
Here we go, Sully. It's got lots of room. Looks nice and relaxed. A little rotated there, but I guess he's been listening to the boys. I see it. Just didn't let it run out. It's got to run out, let it relax. It would have come around on its own. He had to force it. Hey, your boss texted me earlier.
Who's
or,
that?
or tried calling. Uncle Eddie.
I bet Eddie is watching today.
Eddie Roberts. What's happening? Todd says, "What's up, Papa Smurf?"
Hello to all the all the manufacturing's up there in Redmond, Washington, and it's still early out there, but around the Redmond area, and the new Radar offices in Preston, but the O'Brien offices and the Conley offices in Linwood, a lot of the sponsors that are bringing this event are actually up there on the West Coast in the Northwest. So big hello to all you guys at home. I think it was raining. All right, Marcus is gone. If we can get Marcus back, David, we'll ask him about making a trip to Ireland. It's a long season for these guys, and pressing towards the end through August and September and into October. They have like 8 weekends in a row. They're all over the world. So I'm not sure exactly what some of these guys' plans are, but there are definitely a lot of events. And I know the guys would like to get to all these towns and see you. So
I was just talking to Aaron Larkin from New Zealand, who's leaving for England. And I asked if he usually works and trains out at Princess. And he said that he's got such a busy schedule that he's not going to be able to spend much time there. So, yeah, these guys are on a plane a lot.
all right, Jay Kolowski with his mulligan going down early on that second pass. But I'm sure, actually, Mike, that it's not knowing that you have a mulligan. It's actually probably getting the fall out of the way where now you can relax and just kind of let her hang a little bit,
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think he's got her. Yeah, it was it's exactly, you watch his first pass, he was real tight. Second pass, he was looking really good. He just made a little bobble into four ball. And then here you could see he was a little cautious at his four ball.
Yeah, being cautious in skiing is something that's such a fine line. We've talked about not panicking. You don't want to go too hard. You're not looking to push on your ski. You're not looking to pull, because then you're risking a blowout. But at the same time, if you move too slow, the boat's not going to wait on you. The boat's still moving away from you at 32 or 34 or 36 miles an hour. So you have to continue to move. It's just a matter of the pressures. And I think Jay is on that fine line of almost being too cautious, where the boat is getting further and further ahead of him as he gets down the lake. And the rope gets tighter and tighter to where by the time he gets to six ball, he has to pull all the way out there to get his ski to the outside of it.
Well, we have Timo here after his Fort 39. You want to walk us through it?
I don't know. It was feeling pretty good out there, and I had to start, and I thought I could get down it, but I don't know, I just couldn't make it through four ball, I guess. So four is what happened, and I don't know. It was super fun though. Nestor.
That's the stepped up.
He really did. I kind of let him down a bit. I feel bad. He sacrificed his body for us, and I couldn't follow through. But yeah, he ripped it, and it was just really fun.
So Nestor, what was it like? Your first pro event?
Amazing, chance of a lifetime. I mean, you never get to do this. It's amazing to get trained by the guys that are winning everything. Thomas Moore did awesome, helped me out a little bit. I mean, you can't do that on a normal basis, so it's a chance of a lifetime.
What was it like down at the starting dock? Did you sleep well last night?
No sleep, all nerves.
That's nice.
With using that mulligan, taking advantage of that to run another pass. So the mulligan has worked out for the couple of guys who've taken it.
So Sully and I were commenting about our first ski event and how nervous we were, and then you get thrown into that mix with a pro, and I don't want to let him down, so that nerve thing had to be really rumbling.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I mean, it keeps going through your head. You're skiing with these guys that do this for a living, so it makes it that much harder. It makes it nervous. When you get out there, it's hard.
So, as far as fantasy camps and stuff, what would you to the viewers? What was the biggest highlight of the? Or were there more than one highlights? For the week.
The whole week. I mean, getting to ski with these guys, getting trained by these different pointers from different guys. I mean, helps out a great deal. Not that you can see it on the course, but I improved a great deal over the week. I mean, my back let go, so that kind of hindered a little bit. But it's, a lot of stuff that you don't normally get to learn, just free skiing, which is what we do. And these pros point all that stuff out and helps out a great deal.
Well, congratulations to both of you guys, and good job.
All right, good job, boys. Thanks, Team Timo, for stopping by and talking to us. But on the water, Team Trent Finlayson, Team T Money. All right, the official score is in for Jay Kolowski. The highest score for an amateur for the day, 95 points, Mike. So now all of a sudden we're in a sudden where T Money, he doesn't have to run as many buoys as DeGasperi did. He's not at a deficit getting on the water.
That's a big score. But T Money knew he had that 39 yesterday, and I think he wants to show the boys what he can do at 41. So we might have a pretty big score coming out of this.
I like it. The Timos and the Trents and these guys, they just want to run 39 a lot. It just doesn't matter. When they're on the water, they want to run 39. And you're right. Trent ran 5. If Trent runs 5 again, if he skis equal to what he did yesterday morning, we're going to have a new leader, and we're going to knock Team DeGasperi off the top.
Yeah, and like he said yesterday, he said, I had it. I knew where I was at. Things were good. That in the back of his mind, just give me one more shot at it. Well, he's got it. Here it is.
Well, he needs to ski good because those are some really loud shorts he has on. And those call for a good performance, or somebody can make fun of you for your shorts immediately. All right, Darren Montgomery from down in Wellington, Florida, a good friend of all of ours. He's traveled with us quite a bit. I ski with him. He is my team captain at Northeast Louisiana University, when that's what it was called. D, give me a call, man. He's a left foot forward, left palm up guy. Mike, do you think it's worth the effort for him to change?
Nah, old school.
He's run a lot of buoys. He's got a Men 2 national title under his belt. Doing it that way, is it worth it? It's not worth the change, you think, huh?
Trent's looking pretty good there, Sully. I think he might be warming up for the statement. You've got to see Trent develop over the years too. Are you seeing? Are you liking what you're seeing?
I'm finally seeing confidence, and he hit on this yesterday that he switched skis. He's now riding the new Radar MPD. He's working with Andy and Rossi on his ski setup. But the biggest thing I see is just confidence in his skiing, and that just takes time. He did his first trip down to Australia and in the New Zealand tournament. And, just that traveling and being with the guys and consistency of showing up on a professional dock just does something in your head that you just can't earn, or you can't buy that. You have to earn it. So he has confidence in his skiing, and he's smarter in his head. And that development has happened over the last few years. And, he's running a lot of buoys consistently. I think Marcus gets the most shout-outs of anybody on this show, though, for sure. Another one from Alex in Christchurch, West Coast, New Zealand, to Marcus.
Trent back at 38 off.
Little slidey ski getting out in front of him. He's kind of back and forth on the ski on this 38.
He's going to need it.
A little uncharacteristic compared to the passes we've been seeing him run. But as Marcus and I just talked about, these guys don't panic. They make poor turns, and it's not the end of the world. You just have to get to the other side of the course and keep moving. And these guys are doing it. It just wasn't that long ago, Mike, when 38 was the make it or break it pass. When if you ran 2 or 3 at 39, you were probably on the podium. And now, 2 or 3 at 39, you don't make the cut.
Yeah, I was looking at an old magazine where it was a Mastercraft ad where they were congratulating. I'm pretty sure it was Bob, it might have been Chris, one of the little points for finally running 38 off. So the technology, I mean, and also these guys, the Marcus Browns are they're not going with the norm. They're looking for a better way to stand on your ski. I mean, we're building better skis for them, but they're also finding a more efficient way to move their body.
No, they're guys like Marcus that have the backing of their sponsors. It makes it, and that's something else. Once you get to a certain place, and then you have a Malibu who's pulling this event and doing a great job with their LXI, and they support their skiers. Mastercraft supports Marcus, where all of a sudden you can take it, you can almost exhale a little bit, and Marcus is in a position right now where he can concentrate and he can explore. And here's Trent at 39. Let's see if Trent can get down this. Knock
better too, ball. He's all right.
He's in this.
Come on.
If he doesn't make the same mistake as yesterday, which he does,
Trent.
5 again. He runs 5 2 rounds in a row. But I'll tell you what, Mike, we have a new leader.
He would be a wicked skier on a 4-buoy course.
Trent wants to spin. He's taking his mulligan. He doesn't even want to stop the boat.
His 2-ball was way better.
No, he was. He's getting the start to run it every time, Mike.
I think he started counting buoys out of 3. Up.
All right, Trent.
Spin it.
He's having his own little personal spin it to win it right now. 5 on the first one. Can he run the second one? Oh, he stuffs it at 1 a little bit. Not going to happen.
He should have taken the 5.
He should have taken the 5. But I'm sure in this mulligan scenario, I'm assuming his first score is protected, which would mean that 5 puts Team T money. What? I just had to confer with the panel of judges and make sure that Trent's score does stick.
Maybe taking it away from him because the pros are not supposed to receive mulligans.
Our panel of judges is losing their mind. The heat must be getting to them. So, hey, it is, at least by my unofficial scoring, that puts Team T money in the lead with Jay Kolowski. Team Canada, actually, the Canadians coming down and representing, So you Canadians up there that are watching this, the boys are holding it. 2:08, just edging Team DeGaspery by a half a point.
Ooh.
1/2 of a point. All right, Trent getting a little freestyly on the way back to the dock. Riding those free shells, that radar.
This is going to get interesting now, because earlier when we talked about who our picks were, who we wanted on our team, for experience and also for their score, the 2 names of Wade Cox and Andy Mapple came up. Well, now's the time to see, did Andy calm down, pump up his camper, and is Andy in the zone today?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it. I was with some of the guys yesterday afternoon, and they're, Andy skipped out at 1 ball at 39 yesterday and ran a quarter. I don't even think they probably awarded him a half. And it's pretty much unanimous that probably won't happen 2 days in a row.
No, yeah, I'm sure. I've seen Andy when there is a mistake go home, and I think it would drive him nuts if he didn't work it out right then. Now I got to get this fixed. What was it? Was it something? Did I look the wrong way, or was it equipment, or whatever it is? He's going to go home and get that. So that's all gone. He's moved on.
All right, and it looks like it is Team Mapple next on the water. That would make it Imanol Luisa from Mexico. Imanol here. This is a funny story. Imanol is now engaged. Congratulations to he and his fiancée. But funny story. He'd ordered the engagement ring for at this time girlfriend, and he also found out during that time that he was coming to this camp. So he told he had told some of his buddies in the chat room that he was getting to come, and there were some other skiers actually that were coming as well that were in the same chat room. So he tells them that he's proposing to his girlfriend, and then they're going to come down to the event. But the ring almost doesn't show up. So Imanol shows up with the ring just in time to propose immediately before they leave, and as soon as he got here, everybody's asking, oh, so you engaged? Congratulations. People that he's just meeting, new water ski friends. But if the ring hadn't shown up, I guess he'd have been in hot water with everybody asking if they were engaged.
I think he's going to be pulling the mulligan out. Looked like a little bit nervous on that first pass. I guess we'd all be a little bit nervous. Our first pro event with Andy Mapple behind you. Sully wouldn't. Iceman.
I'd relax. I'd like, hey, Andy's got this, man. I'm going to take my mulligan and lay up and handle your business, Andy. All right, the Jubak kids, they're sending messages to Glenn and Teresa. So Glenn and Teresa, good luck. They say you're number one. They know you're the best. All right, Imanol.
He's settling down now.
Definitely looks more comfortable today.
What a nice three ball too.
That was. He had some really good rhythm going then.
He settled right in
early
there, too.
fall. I'm going back to pick him up again though. All right, but while we've got a minute, Team T Money, our new leader. There you go, Mike.
5. Come on, man. I thought you had it worked out. You were looking good there.
And it felt really good. And I hadn't heard Jay score. I mean, he knocked it out of the park. If I would have ran that, we might have sealed this whole deal. I think I kind of let my boy down a little bit.
Was it the same as yesterday? You had her going and started thinking about it?
Man, same but better, dude. I felt so good into 4, but I just blocked myself and same deal, man. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna run it in a pro event, but
another good Canadian boy, Team Canada in the lead.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I was glad to be out here, and I'd like to thank Waterski for everything. It's been a great event, and we're pretty happy with everybody around here about everything that went on. So,
okay, your highlight of the week
today, it's perfect. You got a couple of 32. I'm very happy.
How did it feel down at the starting area? Were you nervous? Did you sleep well last night?
Oh yeah, first pass was my nervous pass. I got through that, and then I felt pretty good after the fact. Both drivers helped calm me down a little bit too, so good guys in there. It's great.
So how's Trent as a winger?
Good. Couldn't ask for anybody better. Perfect.
Good job, guys. Congratulations.
All right, phenomenal job from Team T Money. Holding down the lead by a half a buoy, knocking Team DeGaspery off the top. And again, big thanks to Malibu Boats, this LXI towing this event, doing a phenomenal job.
We get another one?
Tons of people tuning in. Everybody's friends and family watching these amateurs and these professionals compete side by side, Mike, and it's just really fun to see the camaraderie. I mean, here we are, these two Canadians. They've maybe seen each other before, or kind of around town, so to speak, but it's just fun to get them together. And I mean, they're brothers now. They've had to compete, and now they're going to get to sit tough and see if they can hang on to the lead. But right now, Imanol back on the water from just outside of Cancun, I believe. Looking better, skiing with a little bit more speed this time. Ski managing to carve through, and he's going to get his ski turn and have something to hang on to. Should probably actually make it through this pass. That was a much better pass for Imanol, much better.
Speaking of patience and how the pros are more patient. Things aren't going right. Let's not all get it back at the next buoy. Just be patient, and good things will happen towards the end of the course. Exactly what he did there. Wasn't in the best of shape, but didn't panic and just stayed with it. Sully, your email is going to be over quota.
It's phenomenal, Mike. I'm trying to get through them all. I'm saving some. There's some for Andy B and some of the other guys, and we'll give that shout when they get out on the water and let them know that you folks are supporting them.
I was speaking to Lonnie Farmer from Malibu earlier, and she said that last night they had a team dinner, Malibu team dinner, and they brought the wakeboard team in. And the wakeboarders were all fired up about it, and so they're all going to come out to cheer on Team Malibu water ski. So we'll have the full Team Malibu with Darren Shapiro, Dallas Friday, Brian Grubb, Chad Sharp, Kevin Hinshaw. The boys would be out here. Another Canadian boy. A couple of Canadians here.
Yeah, there's a couple Canadians. Good boys, that lot. All right, Imanol going for 2 passes in a row. His first pass was, for that first full pass, he looked like he settled in, didn't he, Mike?
He's way more relaxed than those first 2 passes. He's in it now.
He's going for 7 there, wasn't he, Aaron Larkin?
So maybe we can get like I don't know if you know this, but Brian Grubb, who's one of the top wake skaters in the world, is also, his roots are slalom, runs 35 off.
He's a phenomenal slalom skier, and the other guys as well. Guys like Parks Bonifay, and he grew up skiing. Sean Murray's, those guys, they love to slalom. If they get the opportunity and things quiet down a little bit, they love to strap on the slalom ski and face the front rather than sideways.
Darren Shapiro was a 3-event skier before at the start too. He could run 32 off at 36 mile an hour. So
he was a great tricker and jumper too.
Yeah, he was jumping like 150 on a 5 back at 32.
He beat me by 1 foot in junior boys jump at the Nationals one year.
Ow.
Oops. Oh, but Imanol, he really picked it up, had a rough start.
But he's given Andy a little room. Andy's still going to need a big score to top Team Canada there. But I think if I wanted to count on one guy to do it, I want the guy with the most experience and the guy that's run 41 more than anybody on the planet in practice.
Well, we'll have to see how our panel of judges rates that Imanol. That was quite a comeback from him as he had a rough start and managed to finish up with 2 full passes.
Sully, you say Darren Shapiro beat you in jumping by 1 foot. How far were you going then?
140 feet. I think I jumped like 142, and he went 143 or something like that.
5 foot, 32?
Yeah, 30.
30?
Yeah.
Oh, you're digging in.
I was giving her.
Did you scare yourself on that cut?
I was all right at 5 foot. It's when I started trying to jump 6 foot, when I thought I was going to be a professional jumper, too. That's when I scared myself. Jumping was a lot different back then. We're talking 72 and 73-inch skis,
Speedos.
Yeah, they were shorter than Freddie. I mean, just think how much taller Freddie's skis are than he is now. That's another, speaking of evolution of our sport, when we talk about jumping and how that equipment has changed and how they've adapted to the perfect pass and getting consistent pulls there and leveling that playing field. And their skis are much bigger. The lines they take into the ramp are different, and they continue to go. We've got a posting of 94 points for Imanol. So Jay had 95 points. So that puts Andy at a 1 buoy deficit to Trent, which means Andy needs to run 39, get a full 39 to take he and Imanol into the lead.
Here's if you watch the width that he gets and how early he gets it, you start when we were talking about ski designs and the future of ski designs and where they're headed, and how Andy and guys like Jamie, Andy does a little different, but they're so much wider, so much earlier than the other guys, and this angle shows it really, really well.
I mean, obviously, just an amazing athlete. You consider other sports, and this is obviously been brought up many times, but you consider other sports and the dominance of athletes and the amount of events that Andy has won and the years that he won consistently left to take a year title is really unmatched in any sort of individual, especially sport that takes a lot of mental strength as well. So he's obviously very strong. He trained hard off the water with trainers in the gym, and mentally just a giant as far as holding consistency and composure throughout a lot of professional events.
A lot of hits in the turn. To keep your body, going for that many years is really impressive. And Andy was one of the guys that figured out at the early stages that, if I'm gonna make this a job, and I'm, make it a living, I'm gonna have to get my body in shape to be in it for the long haul. And he did some pretty impressive off the water stuff.
All right, Andy Mapple, 35 off, just getting warmed up. Andy, he's so involved with so many different things too. In the development of Perfect Pass, he was very, very deep in that. Now our second legitimate option is a cruise control system, Zero Off. He's helping develop that. We saw him earlier in the ski nautique piece. He developed that boat. He develops all the skis that he rides. And now, as he's not skiing so seriously, as skiing is not his number one priority, he's spending more time with other athletes off the water with their equipment, with the Aaron Larkins and these guys who are trying to get a ski set up, to the point where Andy will literally take the top of your ski off, lay more carbon fiber on the inside, cure it, and make your ski stiffer in patches where he feels your ski needs to be better. I mean, these are things that I don't even know what tools you need to do something like that, much less manage to control the flex of a ski down within a half a pound to a pound.
And he's been doing it for so many years. I mean, he's really understanding it. If you remember Schnitz yesterday asked us about how he buries his shoulder when he goes through the wake and how he can get away with doing it. On my way home last night, Schnitz called and said, "Well, you didn't explain it that well." And that angle there, he really showed it well. And it shows that his timing of when he gets against the line and as he moves his feet, as he jets his feet, he does it better than anybody else, so that's why he can do it.
Yeah, and Andy, as I was growing up, Andy's dominance was in full swing, and Wade won a couple of titles in my early years in trying to ski professionally. But, Andy's is such, his force and aggressiveness is almost something that's very difficult to try to emulate. Because it's so dynamic and so strong that it's something that's difficult to do.
We were all trying to figure it out. When he was, when he had his A game going, he was the guy that we wanted to watch. We wanted to see, and he had more movement in his legs than anybody else. And we were all trying to work out, is he absorbing? What is he doing? How's he? Is it like a storing of energy, a releasing of energy? Like what was going on there? And so, we didn't have the technology that we have today as far as video cameras. I mean, everyone didn't have a DV camera, so you couldn't jump in a boat and work it out. And now we understand more that what he was doing back then was he was able to store and release energy and keep his direction better than the other guys. That's developed more into what you see him doing now. So is it the most efficient way to do it? I think you could have some people argue about it, but he's developed it over so many years and he's able to make it work for him.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you just watch these 38 offs. It's art, man. It just gets me so excited about slalom skiing to see these guys run 38 like that. And the spin it to win it was cool. We got to see them run a lot, but it becomes fatiguing. But when you see these guys starting at 32 and 38 is a part of that game plan to establish their rhythm, it's just very beautiful. All right, Andy with a better start than he had yesterday, certainly.
Come on, Andy.
Oh, sitting back out of 3. He's got a laugh on his face. He's not going to get out of 39 again. Better than yesterday, but certainly not very Andy Mapple-esque with his skiing this weekend.
When Andy went out, jumped in the water there, Drew Ross comes over and got a good spot to watch from, and he goes, "I just love watching this guy." That's how much fun it is to be able to, especially at these angles, to watch a legend like Andy out there on the water.
Well, it wasn't too bad of a start, Mike. Certainly a runnable start out of 2 ball. And then just out of 3, it looks like he just let himself get behind the ski. He wasn't actually actively, what I would consider actively moving on top of the ski to stay over the top of his feet.
You know, and that's where Schnitz, the thing that Schnitz was looking for was, you know, how he shoots his feet out. That actually got him in trouble there, because the way he shot his feet out got him on a spot on his ski that he couldn't move. He had to ride it through the turn, what made him rotate, and then he got in trouble.
All right, Andy Maple taking another stab at it. That's not any better out of 2. So Andy's best score 3.
Well, we got Wade Cox down there looking at this thing. I'm sure he's sizing it up, trying to figure out what's it going to take to get that lead. What do you think? You think Wade's in the competitive mode right now, or is he in the play mode?
Even when Wade's in the play mode, his competitive side certainly, you know, as we've discussed, it takes over when he gets on the water. He's looking to go out there and get warm. You know, what's on everybody's mind as far as a few of these guys. Wade was just down here picking cards for the team challenge. He's the Mastercraft team captain. He needs to keep his head in that and be ready to try to knock Malibu off their throne, as Malibu being the defending champion of this team challenge. So I think Wade's gonna be ready to ski, and he's gonna post a score. So we'll just have to see how Chris Lounsbury, his partner, is gonna lay it out there for him.
Chris was
all right. Wade Cox.
Oh, there he is. He's down there giving some encouragement to Chris, to young Chris.
All right. Well, Wade, just so you know, Chris Lounsbury's stealing your glory, man. Chris, you are being projected to the world as Wade Cox right now, as you stand on the back of the boat.
Sully, Chris.
What's it like to be Wade Cox for a day? So Chris knows now what it's like to stand on the docks.
Cox. Now we got it right.
And feel that pressure, feel the heat of knowing, all right, I'm Wade Cox. I have to go out and perform now. I don't know if he wants to shoulder that burden.
Chris was during the week working at 32 miles an hour at 15 off, trying to clean up some stuff, and Wade's working with him and trying to get him to keep his direction.
There's Coxie.
A little bit better. So we'll see how Wade's coaching, how far it takes Chris through the course. Coxie looks nice and relaxed down there.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty chill. Be tough to be too upset with the shorts on like that. Those are kind of like some happy shorts, you know?
Wade's a happy guy. Actually, Wade said he's got a few aches and pains, so he was down there working out, stretching it out, warming it up.
All right, Chris Lounsbury riding the HO Vengeance green bottom ski. Woo! Laid into it out of 1 ball.
There you go, all 6. I wonder if these guys, their first pass, to get down to 3 ball, they get down to 4 ball, and they're going, 2 more, 1 more. Okay, I made my first pass. Wade's going to be, I'm going to make his workload a lot easier on him.
Are you? How do you suggest to do that?
By running about 4 more passes. Sully, what do you got going on there, the email department?
Well, emails have gone a little bit slow.
Now, the only ones you're getting are from your old girlfriends.
If you have any questions, hit us up. This thing's really about to start to heat up. We're going to get as this Pro-Am gets a little bit more exciting, and then we get to where it really counts, the bragging rights for the next 12 months, the Team Challenge. Of course, Malibu being the sponsor of this Pro-Am event. Nautique pulling the Spin It to Win It. I apologize. The Cold 39 this morning, and Mastercraft pulling the Spin It to Win It yesterday afternoon. This afternoon, all 3 boats will be in the water on this little tiny ski lake with this team skier behind each of them.
Ooh,
oh, big crash.
That's got to get a few extra points there. The mulligan's coming out. Oh, we got a slow-mo of the crash, too. Here we go.
All right, this will be good. All right, our panel of judges watching this instant replay of the crash. You know,
nice and patient there.
A ski of this size, this kind of mid-class, you know, it's not a large ski. It doesn't have all the surface area, but it is going to be larger. There we go. He hung on all the way to the wake.
For the full buoy.
Backbreaker. Is great for the speed and the aggressive level that Chris Lounsbury here is wanting to ski at. It's that mid-size, aggressive bevel, very similar to, you know, it's built very similar to Wade's ski, the CDX, his signature ski, with a little bit more surface area. So Chris riding a ski that's very fitting for the style of skiing that he's doing.
What about a little Wade Cox trivia there for your email fans?
What would be a good Wade Cox trivia?
What's Wade's dog's name?
His dog's name, that's a good one. All right, this is probably going to take a Wade Cox student out there in the Oviedo Chiliota area. Do you know the name of Wade's chocolate lab? We'll even give you the, I'll give you the breed. Wade has a goofy chocolate lab. What is his name? All right, we have a winner, and it's actually Wade's teammate. Wade's calling him out. I don't know if we got some little whispering going on down there, but Chris Lounsbury is the winner. Wade's lab's name is Jack. Hey, man. Hey. What's up? All right, then. Well, that was a quick trivia. That didn't take too long. We need to come up with some good Jody Fisher trivia, too. We'll get him up later to talk about his headphones training system. And we'll give away a headphones training system.
Andy, you look a little tired after all those passes. Spinning the boat out there.
I guess I missed the spin to win thing, so I figured I'd have a bit of a go out there, but I was only making 2 and 3 buoys, and then I couldn't even get the mini course right.
Okay, so first pro event. A little nervous. You know Andy's got you back down there. You got the legend behind you. What did it feel like down at the dock before you got out there?
It was great. The feeling was great. This morning when I realized that I was skiing with Andy, well, like, finally I will meet him because he's been a hero in the ski for me. And also he was going to be my team member, so it was awesome. And when I got to the water, I was so nervous that I thought the 4th buoy was the 6th. So I ended the 4th and went through the gates. And I was like, no, but it's great. It's amazing.
What words of encouragement did you have?
I just told him to get out there and get after it and have fun. You know, at a point like this, you know, I mean, it's a great sight. And, you know, there's a lot of the world's top skiers around here. I mean, not just skiing with me, but I mean, just a lot of people watching. You've got cameras everywhere, but yeah, you just got to get out there and have fun and go enjoy the moment, you know, because that's lifetime memory right there.
It looked like after your first pass, you settled down. Did you just get more relaxed?
Yeah, I think so. It was like better, and it was, I don't know, more relaxed. I got better since I passed. Like in the 3rd was like when I got better and I could run the course complete and then go shorter.
Any highlights from the week?
it's been a dream week. Everyone, the organizers and the pro skiers have been so nice with all of us. They've been answering all of our questions, sometimes not very wise questions, but they've been helping all the time. They've been great. I couldn't believe they were so nice.
Well, I'm sure it was a big thrill to have a chance to be a teammate of Andy, and it's just a thrill to watch Andy ski. Drew Ross even came over and goes, I just love to watch the guy ski. So thanks, guys, and congratulations.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, and thanks, Andy.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
All right, Team Maple, just stopping in for a webcast interview. Official panel of judges, do we have a Team Maple score? 205. Where does that put them? 205. I think that slides them into third place. Third place, a clean third place. Still in the lead, Team T-Money, Trent Finlayson, holding it down with Jay Kolowski. In second place, Team DeGasperi with Glenn Jubak, 207.5 points. And Andy Maple and Imanol Luisa with 205 points in third. We're getting down at only a few teams left. Chris Lounsbury shredding up this lake right now. Not only is he skiing well, but he's got the time between passes to answer my trivia. This guy's on it.
That's nice and relaxed. Well, I think he ran out a little bit of rope on that pass. You know, it's fun, you know, hearing the campers and the fun that they had, at the camp, meeting the people. But so many experiences. A lot of things they're talking about is just being with the guys, getting a chance to meet the guys and finding out that they're just a bunch of regular guys, and they're actually a lot of really fun personalities, in water ski and slalom.
These guys they really are regular guys. They put their pants on the same way in the morning as everybody else does, or their boardies, so to speak. But you meet guys like the Marcuses and the Wades and these guys that they're if you hadn't seen them 100 times in the magazine, if we didn't have that media, then they would walk up and have the same conversation with you, and you would have no idea who it was, because it doesn't bother them whether you know or understand who they are or what they do or not. They just want to talk about skiing and have a good time, and it's really fun to have personalities like that supporting us, the sport.
So where are we at with Wade here? What's he got to get? How far down does he have to go to?
Okay. All right, Chris Lounsbury with the score of 94. So if we're going to use Trent and Jay as our marker. Jay had 95 points, so that puts Wade at a 1-point deficit. So with Trent's 5 at 39, that means that Wade has to run a full pass at 39 to tie with Team T-Money. So any buoys at 41 off will put Wade's team into the lead. Team Coxie to knock off Team Trent, and Wade and Trent have a long relationship too, spending time out at Carl's place. Trent has worked for and with Wade through the years at clinics and as a coach at his place and out at Carl's. So these guys have a little friendly rivalry as well. So Wade needing to get anything at 41 will put Team Coxie into the lead. I have an interesting question here. Is it my eyes, or are the pros doing deep water starts differently now by standing straighter instead of crouching down like a ball?
They're probably just trying to save their back. It's easier on your back if you know how to get up. Just kind of keeping your back straight makes it a lot easier. But for somebody who doesn't have the timing of the deep water start, it would make it actually a lot harder.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily changed, but these guys definitely know how to alleviate pressure from their back and get on top of the water as quick as possible. And those deep water starts, doing it like that also takes a very, a consistent pull from the driver. You need to trust that you know what the driver is going to do when you do begin to stand up like that, or you can actually hurt yourself worse, can't you, Mike?
Yeah, it actually, in some ways, it kind of like loosens up your back when you do that. When a boat pushes and you just kind of like pull your shoulder blades together. But like you said, that it's a timing thing. And if the driver's driving you right and you're so used to the same pull up, you're gonna be fine doing it that way.
All right, Coxie, obviously just cruising that 32 off. A few more emails coming in.
Little piece of trivia. What is Sully's dog's name?
I imagine we'll receive a few emails on this if anybody's interested in thinking they can get it in first. Probably the most well-traveled dog in the water ski world. A lot of you people have probably met my dog.
A lot of people have dog sat him.
She's getting on a plane at the end of the week to fly back to Seattle with me. All right, Coxie, just Wade's another one of those guys that manages to know his equipment really well. So by the time he gets to an event, that's not a question in his mind.
You know, a bunch of us were talking about like skis and their favorite skiers and their favorite skis and stuff like that. And Wade's name got brought up, and I said, I'll tell you one thing: if he likes his setup, the guy is going to go deep into 39. I don't care what the conditions are. If he likes it and trusts it, he's going deep.
Mike, do you know a Nancy Kohler, Water Ski Canada alumni?
Oh, yeah.
She's got 5-year-old twin boys, and she's showing them this water ski, and now they want to learn. So it looks like she might be getting back into the game.
Get ready for about $40,000 on a boat, $1,000 skis, and they're going to have a heck of a good time.
She said you're a phenomenal sports reporter. Maybe she'll see you on Hockey Night in Canada.
I don't know. I think her dad does a better job than me.
All right, Coxie, rope's starting to get a little shorter now for Wade. 38 off. And this is the one. This has to be my favorite pass of this weekend, just the command that these guys are showing of what 38 off is now. And Wade stuffed it there a little bit at one ball, but it doesn't matter, you know. And 38 off is something that is merely a formality for these guys.
Nice. Sully, Nancy's dad is the announcer for Hockey Night Canada. And Nancy used to be, I think her position was, she might have been the executive director. But Nancy was trying to talk me into going to Italy, I think it was for the World Championships. And we were instant messaging each other one morning, and that's the morning of 9/11. So everyone always goes to me, what were you doing when the 9/11? I said, I was texting Nancy while all the mess was going on. But yeah, her dad is a legend in the announcing world for hockey.
That's funny you mentioned that. I was actually laying fiberglass inside of an inboard ski boat. I was working for a different manufacturer at the time, so I can tell you that I know how difficult it is from on-hand personal experience of how much labor by hand goes into building these boats. And another big thanks to Malibu for pulling this event, and Nautiques and Mastercraft. And just these boats are virtually made by hand, fiberglass laid in, and so that's what I was doing on 9/11 in the middle of nowhere, figuring out how to make boats.
Built boats, built skis. What haven't you done?
Retired.
Attaboy. Come on, Wade.
All right, Coxie at 39. He's got to get through this if he's going to knock Team T money down. Team Coxie. Obviously, Wade has been under a lot more pressure than this to run 39. And that's pretty much a little...
Whoa, come on, Wade.
Oh, no. He's not interested in hanging on to that. But depending on how they score it... Depending on how they score that... Okay, instant replay.
Sweet one.
Unbelievable.
He was on it the whole way, but watch what happens at 5-ball.
That's just your perfect Coxie 2 there. Ski stopped. He got separated a little bit out of 3, but his ski's moving through the turn really well. All right, here, talk us through this, Mike.
He was thinking about it out of 4. I mean, he was fine at 4 ball. He was thinking about it, and he just came up, lost all his direction into 5 ball, and he just had that big, slow truck driver turn. He couldn't move in on 5 ball. Well, we got a score.
All right, total score as Coxie climbs through the weeds there. 207.5 points. So we do have a tie for second place with Team DeGaspery. Team Coxie and Team DeGaspery tied up, but Team Trent, T-Money, still holding tight at 208. So Trent hanging on. We only have 2 more matchups, Team Billy Susie and Team Will Asher. Teresa Juback, her husband, was first off the dock. And Andy Brisbane, Team Will Asher, that's Team GB there, too. Team Great Britain holding it down. But first, looks like we're going to have Team Susie up. Teresa Juback down in the water getting ready for her ski ride. What's up with Billy? Why didn't he give her a headband or something? They could do team headband.
That would have been good. That would have been good. He wasn't thinking it's too early in the morning for Billy.
Yeah, it is. Billy could have been found on the webcast at Blue Martini last night, I'm sure, if that was being webcast.
Hey, you want me to go get my teammate first?
Yeah.
You want me to call him? Hey, Chris Lounsbury, why don't you head down here? Chris Lounsbury. All right, Teresa Juback. She's advancing in her skiing, working on running the mini course. Looking very comfortable skiing underneath that crane. I know her kids and grandma are at home watching, so it's really exciting for her, I'm sure, to know that. Live here on Webcast TV. People around the world watching her ski ride. All right, we're getting some more emails, Mike.
What's your dog's name? Come on.
Tom Warner's wondering. Tom Warner's wondering about the INT. He says great coverage in the last issue of Water Ski Magazine. Tom, I think you're going to see the same people that you saw last year, plus a few. I heard a couple more guys talking about it. You know, now that they know that it's a viable deal and the first boys got there, I think Rick's going to expand the amount of people he accepts to 12. So we should see all the pros there.
Sully, what was your start? First tournament?
My first tournament ever?
Yeah.
It was at Aqua Gardens. They had a little fun tournament or a Class C tournament. I don't remember what it was. They're at Ron and Beverly Alton's place in Texas.
How'd you do?
Oh, I'm sure I missed my first pass and crashed jumping and probably made a side slide or something tricking. She's excited. I can hear her hooting and hollering from up here. Teresa Juback, what a wonderful wife, buying herself and her husband 2 tickets to the fantasy camp, the Water Ski Magazine fantasy camp, spending the week here, rubbing elbows with the greatest water skiers in the world. Thank you, Jock.
Billy's chomping at the bit down there.
All right, Mary Mann, just wanted to say thank you. I'm a recreational water skier in Kelowna, BC, so she's definitely pulling for Team Trent. This is just artwork, watching these talented men ski. Coxie, your artwork. I appreciate the opportunity to watch everyone perform. All right, Teresa Juback back down the lake as we wait to interview Team Coxie.
She's actually got a good little rhythm going there, Sully. Okay, how was it? Chris, what was it like being down there? Were the nerves, were they good? Did Wave have any words of encouragement for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was my first time doing a tournament, obviously, and especially one of this magnitude. And there's definitely nerves, but Wade was telling jokes and stuff and keeping me loose, and it was just a lot of fun.
Wade telling jokes. This is serious stuff down there. What was it like? Was it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. I really enjoyed the Pro-Am format. Myself and Andy Mapple and Sully and Jody Fisher, we started the Princess Pro-Am 10 years ago just on basically on goodwill. We thought it was cool, be cool for the sport, and we wanted these guys to come out and support our event. So what better way to, hey, just let them ski with us,
Cool. So during the week, you were getting a lot of instruction. Was that stuff going on in your head when you're out there?
I just try to put that behind me and just kind of take with me out there what I could remember at the time, and just not try and fill my head with too many things, thinking about too much. Just wanted to kind of do my thing and just see how it went.
And Wade, similarities in the skis. You're the team manager for HO Skis. What do we got going on here in skis?
Well, it started, quite a few years back with the snow ski industry, and they started with a wider shape to give more surface space instead of going super long. And what they found was they could have more of the ski touching the surface of the snow, and the skis would carve better. So we started trying it with these, and we took a CDX and we cut it down the middle and glued it back together, and we tried all different widths, and through that R&D we actually came out with probably 4 different models, not only just this line, but the narrower models as well, and so it's really cool. A lot of the product that you guys end up trying at home, really filters from like in Formula One racing. That stuff comes down on stock Ferraris and BMWs, and the same with us. Stuff that we work on eventually ends up on all of our skis.
And so we actually got to see it performing on the water at one level and at another level. So it's a hybrid based off of.
Yeah, and what we're really looking at, we do. I heard you talking about all the video and how techniques change, and it's also enabled us to change the way we build skis. We video everything now, and you can throw it up on a big screen monitor, and you measure the tip height off the water. You can measure exactly how much ski's in the water, and it's really crazy the similarities between, the way he goes through the wicks and the amount of ski he has in the water, and the same with me, and then same thing at the turn. We're pretty much having the equal amount of ski in the water, and we can dictate that through all this technology that we have.
Cool. Highlight of the week.
Highlight would be just this right here, probably skiing with the guy you grew up admiring and stuff as a kid growing up, and it's just pretty special to be here right now.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Wade Cox, always the consummate pro, always very insightful in what he has to say, and very involved through, geez, I don't even know how many years now at HO, Mike. I used to be able to keep up, but I'd say pressing 15 to 20 years with his relationship just with the ski. 20 years. So 20 years with HO.
19 and a half.
19 and a half years. So he's coming up on his anniversary of nearly 20 years. HO celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and Wade being responsible for many titles and research and development there with that company for nearly 20 of those, Mike. And you and I had the opportunity to work with him for a lot of those years, and he's a great guy to have on your side and to work with, and HO obviously a very strong brand.
Okay, we got Billy up here. What's the story behind the headband there?
It's a signature move, man. Everybody's got to have style. Billy's like the knight in white. He's got his little white headband, white vest, white shorts, white ski.
Got that Ashton Kutcher look going on.
Ashton Kutcher, wow.
Ashton Kutcher.
All right, hello back to Nancy Horton in Nova Scotia. Thanks for everything you guys do, for sure.
Sully, these conditions for the last 3 days are making you want to get your ski out, huh?
They really are. It's kind of giving me a gut ache that it's been too long for me not to be able to go out there and do it.
You know, I was saying the other day that if you get a chance to Google Earth this place, I don't know the exact address, but if you just go up from Orlando, downtown Orlando, you'll see perfect water ski lakes and a golf course community. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just to sit in the homes here, in the pool area, and just look out back, and it's like chomping at the bit. I got to get out there.
Okay, Mike, official score in for Teresa Jubak. 93. So that puts her, that's a really good individual score. Puts her right in there. Hey, that's what Glenn Jubak scored. So the Jubak's holding tough at a 93-point average there. So that means that to bump Team DeGaspery out of second place, well, it's going to take 208 points to tie with the lead or to get ahead of second. So he is going to have to run 1.5? No, 1 full buoy at 41 off to tie for the lead. 1 full buoy at 41 off.
Oh, so we got a little competition going on here. Billy can get through that. Remember we talked about the way he was standing on a ski the other day. He's able to he's more in a compressed position than a lot of the other guys, a little bit more bent at the waist. But, you know that's actually something that you'll see in Wade Cox, who he skied with, a little bit more of a rounded type shoulder when he gets going into his pulls. You'll see it right there. But Billy's capable of that 39 pass. 1 at 41. Will that give them the lead, or will that tie them?
1 at 41 will tie for first place.
Ooh.
1 at 41. So Billy's got to get through 39. He's looking pretty nice, though. All right, 38 off. Billy Susi, Team Freedom Slalom, doing it his own way. And Team Malibu, skiing behind his own boat in this event, in this Pro-Am Challenge. Billy, Team Malibu. So we'll be seeing him again shortly. Actually, very shortly. He's the leadoff hitter for Malibu in the first heat of the 3-boat Bragging Rights Challenge.
I can't wait to see this, the video. It's going to be up on Webcast TV's archive section, and download some of this and look at some of these angles, because these are angles you just don't get to see all the time. And like Wade was saying, how they look at ski design and stuff. There's just so much cool stuff you see from these different angles. Dash is on it, man. Working for 6.
That's a really nice pass. Looks just phenomenal in slow motion. And you're right, seeing the ski work from overhead, when you can see how the ski is bending to come through the water, and actually the dynamics of that is really great when it's in slow motion. All right, hey, Mike, I've actually got a question directed at you. Mike, what do you think? First of all, he says it's a great webcast, and he keeps getting busted watching it at work, which is
attaboy.
We love you for that. Kent Millicam. All right, 39. Billy gets stood up. Sorry, Billy.
3 at 39.
3 at 39. That's not going to take the lead. We've mentioned the ski length on the amateurs. We've talked a little bit about size, and he's worried his ski is potentially too short. It's 175 pounds, 6 feet tall. He's running 34 miles an hour, 15 to 22 off, and he's riding a 66.5-inch good 9800.
I always tell everybody the bigger the ski you can get on, the better. I mean, we can make skis turn now by whether it's fin settings or binding placements or whatever, but bigger skis are better. You don't want to be you want to be on top of the water. But the biggest ski the biggest ski that you can ski on in rough water, in a tailwind the tail will stay in on you, is probably going to be the easiest ski for you to ski on. It's just more work as you get smaller. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables to it. It sounds like that ski's, small on you, but it depends on, the gates that you take, the lines that you run. And if you're running really shallow, late type of a course, smaller skis can work better for you. But if you're trying to run lines like you see the pros out here running, that ski is going to be a ski that you really have to adjust or possibly too small for you.
Of course, thanks to Dave Good and that 9800, a lot of skiers out here riding that ski. Dave, a sponsor of the event here. So.
The boss is watching.
I just got one from the boss, too.
I wonder if he's figured out how to spell respect yet, because he doesn't show it. What's up, P.O., the hardest working man in the industry?
O'Brien,
a shout out to P.O.
Much love back in Preston. All right, we're into our last matchup. Andy Brisbane. And Andy, you do have a shout out from your people at home. Everybody's watching, so got to represent Team Great Britain. But certainly the Great Britain's #1 slalom skier as of late, the world champion Will Asher.
Hey,
top seed of this Pro-Am event.
Sully, have you seen Drew Ross down here scouting it out for Team Malibu?
I see him.
He's been
kind of undercover a little bit.
We got Thomas
over
over there.
out. He's letting Willie be team captain. Drew's just kind of. These guys have something up their sleeve. They're defending champion.
Defending champions.
So they're sitting on the title right now.
They got one guy mid-course.
Last
Thomas is going to the other end of the course. Something's going on here. I think the boys are taking it serious.
Oh, it's good. Good fun. Now you're telling me that they've got the whole wakeboard team coming out. We're going to have Chad Sharp and the boys out here a little bit later to be supporting Team Malibu.
This is going to be interesting. Defending champs, perfect conditions. They got the wakeboard team cheerleaders. The boss is here. They're going to have to perform. The pressure's on.
All right, Andy Brisbane tearing it up out there. Oh, I guess I always speak too soon.
Sully, we have Billy and Teresa here.
All right, Team Susie.
Team Susie. You let us down a little bit on the headband. Where was your teammate's headband?
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to ski the Pro-Am until last night, and I struggled to find another one, but it's back in my car. Unfortunately, I rode with somebody else.
You got to travel. You got to travel with extras. Yeah. So, Teresa, your first pro event. How was it?
It was amazing. I had so much fun. It was a great time. Everybody's been fabulous.
Nerves?
Oh, yeah. I was towards the end. I have my kids at home watching. Hi, kids.
She's nervous every time. She was shredding out there.
What were your words of advice?
Nothing much. She seemed kind of nervous on the dock, so I just said, do what you were doing yesterday when Jason was coaching you. And by the time she hopped in the water, it was like it was a practice set again for her, so it was good.
So your highlight of the camp?
Just making new friends. It was great.
Is it what you expected?
Yes. And the smile on my husband's face was worth all of it.
Okay.
Teresa, tell us a little bit about how you got your husband and you signed up to be here.
Well, I have to thank Adrian for that. I wanted to surprise my husband at the beginning of the ski season. And I talked to Adrian, and she talked me into coming as well as a beginner. And Friday, he did not know anything up until Friday, and then Todd called him on Friday and surprised him, and he got lost on the way home. He was so excited he missed his turn.
I didn't know it was his first tournament because he got into 32 off, right? 35 or something, and I was like, oh man, this guy's killing it, and he came back in. He said, that was my first tournament. Just getting in the water was a PB, so it's fun to watch that.
Well, thanks for coming by, and congratulations on a really, really nice performance.
And I have to thank everybody at Water Ski Magazine and all the pros here. They've just made this trip something we'll remember forever.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations.
All right, thanks to Glenn and Teresa Jubak and Billy Susie, Team Susie there. The kids riding into us to say hello to their parents. Very special, very family-oriented sport, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it's just fun to see the smile on her face there. She was, that's what it's all about. Having fun at all different levels. We all do it at different levels, but we're all having fun.
And, that's the thing about this Pro-Am, and something that I really wanted to mention is, whether you run the course for the first time or whether you're Teresa and you're running the mini course or you're Chris Parrish and you're running 41 off, you know what? When you get to the end of the lake after completing something new, the sensation is exactly the same. Whether you're at 30 miles an hour, 15 off, or you're at 39 and a half off, that satisfaction of completing that and making it through that next step is what continues to drive us back to the lake and is so attractive to so many people to water skiing. And that's what's cool about a Pro-Am like this. I mean, these guys are, Teresa doesn't run a pass, Chris Parrish runs buoys at 41, but it doesn't matter because we're all sharing that sensation.
We were talking about just the excitement you get, and I mean, we've been doing it a long time, that when you're driving to the lake, there's always that feeling that, you get excited, you get fired up. It could be for an R&D run, it could be for a practice run, whatever. It's just the love of doing it. And you just saw, from a professional doing it to a girl who's enjoying it running a mini course. It's just all about the stoke.
All right, Jay Kolowski's mom is riding in. She watched him from home. So Jay's sitting on top right now. He and Trent might take the title.
Have you heard that lunch whistle yet?
No, I see all our technical people around us eating, but...
So Willie's down there.
Willie's last. He's top seed. Behind his own boat.
Yep.
Just getting warmed up for this team challenge. Willie's, like we said, Drew's relinquished his team captain title to Willie, so I'm kind of... We're going to watch these guys ski. I think they're up to something.
Oh, yeah, we got a player out there.
Andy Brisbane putting it all out there. He's actually having a long set. He's running tons of buoys.
How many times do you think what happened yesterday to Willie has gone through his head? That start at 39.
Well, Mike, you've spent a ton of time with Willie, as he's a little brother to me, and we kind of have a little bit of the ideas of the workings of Willie's head. And, something like that, he can either take one way or the other. Mm-hmm. It could really be bothering him, or he could just take this ride to know that yesterday was a mistake. It depends on how it's been going the last couple of weeks for him. And rumor has it he was running 41 out here not that long ago, within the last week or so. So considering that, I think Will's just going to let yesterday go, and he's going to be right back on top of his feet today for these rounds.
Yeah, I talked to Willie a little bit after he skied, and I don't think it was a big deal. I think it's a learning experience. He moves on, and he goes out and does his thing today. Whoa.
All right, Andy blows up at 1. I believe he's already had his mulligan, so we should be getting pretty close to getting a score from our official panel of judges here behind us.
Sully, that's a common fall that you see there. A lot of times you see that at one ball. And we saw it a bunch of times yesterday at ball 1 at 39 with the guys coming through where their tail just won't stay in the water. What advice do you have for people that have it's new passes to them? They haven't run 35 yet, but they can't get a start, and a lot of times that happens. What stuff do you look at or have them focus on?
Well, the biggest difference when you get there, and a lot of times I think that happens, is you're not supporting your upper body, and it allows your ski to get too free on the water, is what I personally think. And the difference is when you start to get to those faster speeds or the shorter line lengths, one of the biggest difference is your vision, because as the rope gets shorter, your eyes and your head get further inside the buoy line, and the way you perceive the course coming at you changes because your lines into and out of are changing because of the length of the rope. So I suggest as you get to a new pass, just slow the boat down a little bit and get adjusted to the visual cues that you need. And then as you speed it up, your reaction time becomes quicker and it becomes easier to run those passes. But adjustment to vision at that new pass, I think, is really key.
Well, Willie's in the water. What is he going to have to? Where are we at with this now?
All right, 93.5. Andy Brisbane scores 93.5. So
it's within reach.
My where's my math?
Is that
Where's our
is that
leader?
any piece of two? We'll put him in the lead at 41.
Team Trent. Jay Kolowski had 95 points. So 93.5. That puts Willie at a 1.5 buoy deficit. So that means that Will has to run, with Trent's 5 at 39, Will has to run a half at 41 to tie with Trent. 1 at 41 will take the title for Team Asher. That's very doable. Will Asher has run 1 at 41 a lot of times.
I think he's got some other number on his mind right now, and it's a bigger number than 1.
Especially after yesterday morning, that's very uncharacteristic of Will to, in recent years, to run that a half at 39. I imagine that you're right. He's not going to want to settle for 1 at 41, but this could be very exciting. We're coming down to the wire, a score that is attainable, yet Will does need to run 39 to take the title. So we'll see. I'm not sure where Team T Money is right now, if they're ready to celebrate.
Do you remember the time that you came over to Andy's place in the Britswood out there training, and you were coming out to watch Willie, but you got there a little late as usual, and I said, "Hey, check this out," and I showed you my video, and it was Willie running a butter smooth pass, and you said that, man, that's an easy 38, and I rewound the video for you and showed you the rope hook to the tow bar, and it was 41. So we know that this guy can not only run it, but he can run it easy.
You know, and when these guys find their groove, when they find their spot, that's how they ski and that's how it looks. And I discussed that a lot with Marcus and Rossi and Jamie this week. And Rossi, especially to himself, says it over and over again. When he's running 41, when he's running great 39s, those feel like 38s and 35s because he's in a spot and he's in a groove. We see Will Asher, I mean, just impeccable style. Will generally just being very balanced on both sides of the course. Looks like his ski's a little bit sticky at 135, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah, but Will will do stuff. He'll play with stuff when he's out there. And, I mean, he's so comfortable on his ski that sometimes he'll do something different to see what's going to happen. So he might have done something on his own there. I know yesterday he talked a little bit about his gait, but what you saw there, I've seen him do a bunch of times, and at these easier passes, he could be playing with something. Or also, something could be playing on in his head. So I think you're seeing more of Will just experimenting for a little bit later. He did two different pullouts on his gate there.
Just phenomenally strong, Will Asher. He spends a lot of time in the gym, and he lifts hard. He just doesn't go through the gym and go through the motions, but he considers it a very important part of his training. And even on days that he's skiing on tournaments or days just before, he does not take himself out of that regimen because his body is so used to that being part of his daily schedule that he feels odd if he skips it. Very similar to you and me, Mike.
Exactly.
Physical specimens we are.
So that I'm on this pattern that when you get home from work, you hear that pop.
You have Heineken pop tops, don't you? One at 41 wins.
Nicer 38 there. Keep looking at that angle. That's an angle for these guys to take a look at as far as looking at. We talked earlier about ski setup. These type of angles we don't get to look at that often. I think for a pro skier who really wants to fine-tune his ski, that's a nice angle to take a look at. And you saw a little issue there at 5-ball that would be nice to look at frame by frame of slow-mo to help dial your ski in.
And this is going to be so accessible to anybody. Drew Ross has, if you're looking for instructional, Andy Mappel put out a video, Drew Ross put out a video, Mike Sider-Howden with the much help of Marcus Brown and Terry Winter have a video out. But even just footage like this, when it's archived on the web, you can go back and watch this footage, and it's just getting visual cues and understanding the physics of what's going on, and watching these turns from so many different angles is a huge help.
On Webcast TV, or webcast-tv.com, you'll see they have an archive, and you'll see a whole bunch of videos in there. I'm not sure how long it's going to be before it's up, but they're usually pretty quick about getting it up there. Here's Willie at 39.
All right, Willie's got to get through this for Team Asher to take it away from Team T-Money. Not with a start like that. Will's going to have to hustle from here. He's down course, but nowhere he hasn't been before.
Big
that was
four
a big
ball.
4. Narrow at 5. Wow, nice work, Will Asher.
That wasn't the way he wanted to do it, but
No, that wasn't textbook Will Asher by any means, but
the
again,
four ball was what he wanted,
that was a
and what he
beauty
needed.
beauty 4. I think so.
Yeah. So what do you? One ties him.
No, Will has to get a full 1 to take it away from Trent. So, as we stand, unless Will drops out, we're on the replay right now. Let's watch this 4 ball.
It was such a big 4 ball that it goofed him up at 5 ball, but at least it kept him in the game.
He needed that right
That was
there.
90.
Definitely needed that.
See, but that's that load issue when it comes on that big, and you're not able to deal with it, which usually he's able to deal with it. You get thrown inside, and he didn't have a whole lot of room at 5 ball.
His ski definitely looks sticky at 135. Look at that line, so straight into 5, but strong enough to manage his way over to 6.
So one is the lead.
All right. Well, hey, Mike, with 135 like that, there's a chance that Will could end up short. He needs a full 1 to take the title. He ran a half at 39 yesterday. He's looking tight at 135. Will Asher needs 1 to get in and out, and he doesn't.
Does that get him 1?
Oh, did he get outside of it? Do we have 1? Do we have a tie? This would be a tie. 1 gives him the win.
We
correct?
need the slow-mo replay to call that one.
Yeah.
Inside. What is our panel of judges? How do they score it?
All right.
Our panel of judges.
Will Asher, Team Malibu, skiing behind his own boat. And thanks again to Malibu for sponsoring this event. Here we go. Another replay. Yeah, and Will is definitely inside 1 ball.
So, yeah, it's a tie. No runoff. Tie.
Tie 4.
Oh, no, Trent won.
I thought he had 208, and then he got 6 at 39. Let's see. 14.
Our panel of judges are frantically going through the scores.
No way.
Isn't that 208?
No, these guys won. Look, he won by 1. He won by 1.5. They won by half a buoy.
Sully, did we get an answer to your trivia question?
I'm not sure, Mike.
How about a Drew Ross trivia question?
We do need some Drewby's trivia.
What hockey team comes from the town he grew up in? I'll give you a hint. It's an OHL team, Ontario Hockey League.
Oh, here come a bunch of emails. Todd Weiss just sent a bunch through to me. All right, it's official. By a half a buoy, after all this skiing, a half a buoy separates Team Asher from Team Trent Finlayson. And Team Trent Finlayson, Team Canada takes the title. Congratulations.
Representing Canada. The Kokanee Golds will be going off tonight. Or the Labots. Oh, he was from BC, isn't he?
All right, Chris Lounsbury, a shout out.
Oh.
From the Bass Lake fellow skiers at Bass Lake.
Yeah, he's from Cold Lake, Alberta, but he drinks Coronas.
Cold Lake, Alberta.
North of Alberta, or north of Edmonton.
Oh, really?
You know, Mike, I don't know about you, but I'm not so sure that I'd be a water skier if I lived in a place called Cold Lake.
Actually, I've been an hour north of Edmonton, and Drew's saying he's
He's a 3-hour trip north of Edmonton.
3 hours north. I didn't even know they had roads up there. When it's nice, it's really, really nice, but